lot of y'all pseudoscientists. You be fine as hell, your granddaddy did it, then you did it, you can ride in there. I don't know who with me or against me, it be hard to tell. Chaos energy, I'm heated, it get hot as hell. Man, it feel good to be Aboriginal. 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 Everybody tribe up had to be major. Yeah, I got my melanin. Guilty without no evidence. All natural, you know me. Jury, it's on me. Swagger, you matter. That's making me chase a fatter. Michael Jackson, but I'm better. Fuck all lives matter. All my teachers, all 9 ether powers, I ain't got all mine either. I don't need a preacher, I just go within. We don't need a leader, no, we gonna win. I see apples with the win again. Tell a friend, we going in. All skin still ain't kin. Y'all heard the tribunal? They sweat us dead like funerals. Winning record like Keno. Fly a lot like UFO. Joe Biden, you a hoe. You a hoe and you not original. We ain't going nowhere, you pitiful. We keep coming right back, residual. We over here lit, you know fuck about who you with. We just correcting our status and shit. What do you know about your citizenship? What do you know about your status and shit? I hate suffixes like shit. Whole system ain't shit. Do something about this shit. You ain't gotta say it something like a king. This is what I seen when I had a dream. Should've had a scene. Do the right thing. Carbon-based beam.
Say peace and paradise to all American Aborigines. Supreme Chief Holidays in the building. I want to say shout out to y'all big homie, the one and only. CEO's in the building. Shit, I cut in the building right now. I want to say shout out to my brother Lotus. Civilization is in the building, y'all. Peace to all American Aborigines, man. Thank you guys for tapping in. Let's see this. It's Eyes 100 Aboriginal. You know what? What's up, Lotus? What's up, fam? How you doing? It's good evening. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm gonna check. Yeah, Lotus gonna be back. We'll say peace to everybody, man. It's gonna be tapped into this a little later, man. We're gonna be doing a little reaction video to SaNeter TV last night. Shout to SaNeter. He had on some people know him as Booker T. Coleman. They go by Kaba Hawatha Kamente, right? Kamene, right? Not Kamente, Kamene, right? Shout out to that brother. And also they said they had Walter Williams over there and Brother Jabari. So yeah, we're gonna be checking this out tonight. And the title was Who Are the First Americans? Right? And we thought that was interesting. We talk about who are the first Americans. You know, you guys, we came out with that last summer, who are the first Americans, pertaining to, us calling ourselves the first Americans, right? But the concept is, the question was on the table is, who are the first Americans, right? Now, what we're going to get into, well, we're going to see what they were talking about, the elders, Brother Kaba, Professor Kaba Hawatha Kamene, as well as, I'm going to call him Sir Walter Williams, right? Shout out to Sir Walter Williams. And shout out to Brother Jabari, too. It's going to be an interesting conversation to see what's going on tonight. I don't know if we're going to get to this whole thing because it's like a 3-hour video. But I think it's going to be really interesting because I had started watching it, man. And as soon as I heard some stuff, I was like, nah, yeah, I think we're going to have to do a live reaction video to this video right here. I don't know. You want to maybe play a song or two before we get into this video? Maybe a video. Maybe H-State Band Runners, Underhog. Hey, I haven't copped that Cowboys and Indians, man. Out now. Cowboys and Indians. It's the return of Doc Holliday. Legends Never Die. Book 1. Yeah, it's nothing but bangers. Intro and 18 tracks, man. It's stupid. Super stupid, man. Shout out to DJ Cut. Tackle this, man. Peace of the God, man. What we're gonna be definitely going in the morning. Oh, and I don't know if you guys caught that intro. We probably got to play it again as well. Want to say shout out to the brother Hawk School for lacing us up with a dope intro. Man, it's pretty dope, y'all. So shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Hawk School, flying high. Probably tuned in to shout out to Hawk School, man. We in the building, y'all. Y'all not. Peace to everybody, man. Man, we're doing this thing, man. Hey, do us a favor, man. Like, share, subscribe. Yeah, let's pull up a couple videos before we do that. We'll go with the Underhog video first before we pull up this SaNeter video. Get some more people in here. Say peace to all American Aborigine, man. Shout out to everybody, man, who tapped in. There's a late night build, man. It's like three on the East Coast out there. It's 12 out here, man. So, yeah, man, we wanted to get this in, man. So, yeah, we ain't gonna be out here too long, man. So, I want to say peace to everybody, man. Lotus, you back yet?
Oh yeah, back in the building, y'all. Honorable admiration, everybody. All my good brothers and sisters of the feather, man, going in for a treat. Got my popcorn ready.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. Hey, before we get into this, man, you got any little background? Well, when we talk about First Americans, when we get back into Walter Bill, we're gonna come back into that conversation about good brother, good doctor Walter Williams. But when it comes to the first Americans, a lot of times we talk about what is called evidence, right? And it's real interesting what people think is evidence. They think books are evidence. They think books are sources. No, they're references to sources. You have to have something tangible that you can touch, feel, bones, structures, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And what we do is we provide what you guys don't have. It's called evidence, right? So I want to say shout out to Dr. David Imhotep. I want to say shout out to Dr. Clyde Winters. You know what I'm saying? The work them brothers are doing. Once again, it's all about, we're just an extension of the ones who came before us, man. And that's just what it is. So, and sometimes it's definitely about eating the meat, spitting out the bones. CEO.
I'll give a slight slight connection.
It's like what?
I like to and Baba.
I just call him Uncle Wally.
Uncle Wally and Baba. I used to have a lot of long conversations with them, and interviewed them. Had a lot of challenging dialogue with them. I hope our good brother IMU comes in here because he he had an interesting conversation with IMU when I hopped on a three-way with him. He's sharp for his age. I haven't spoken to him in years, so I'm really intrigued and looking forward to this to see what the elder's saying. I don't want to spoil it, so I don't want to say what the elder has said to me about it. I want to, have this a full on live on the spot react.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. So I definitely want to get this. Hey, Sean, what up, though? All my late night insomniacs. Hey, man, like, share, subscribe, man. Appreciate everybody tapping in, man. Y'all see, I ain't know it was just late. Man, appreciate everybody, man. We'll be tapping in tonight. We'll catch a treat. Matter of fact, just gonna get into this video. This is so late. Yeah, don't even worry about playing the song. Let's just get right into this video. If you don't mind, CEO. Let's go. Hey, fair use, man. Shout out to SaNeter, man. Once again, man. Who are the first Americans, man? Y'all already know what it is. Y'all see the answer. Our answer is we are. That's the answer to that. So, hey. Thank you.
How you doing, my brother? You're looking good. Let me unmute you. Yes, go ahead, brother.
Hotep, brother SaNeter, and Hotep and my sister Napa.
Hotep.
As you know, as you said in the introduction, brother, we go back. I think I have done an interview in every house you've ever lived in.
Yes, yes, sir. Yep.
Even
and
on the
you killed it every time.
Hey, brother, we go back and we understand what we're facing. You know.
Yes. You remember the first interview we did? We did it at Brother Sutek boutique store in the back. Brother. Soul Brothers Boutique.
Shout out to Brother Sutek.
I remember. You were interviewing people as they was walking into the place on 127th Street.
There you go. That's how I do it, man.
Good brother.
Yeah. Hey, so anyway, family, I want to let y'all know this is
a
real goodie. And we've been hearing so much disconnection between the natives and the Africans. And first of all, y'all see what the title is. Who are the first Americans? The real indigenous people are who? And so first of all, Brother Kaba, let me ask you, talk about your background. I know you got some native in you, brother. Let's start there.
Yeah, well, in terms of the information that I've received from my family members, my mother is from Boston, Massachusetts, and she carries 3 nations in her. The Onondaga, the Narragansett, and the Oneida. And my father is from Alabama, Marion, Alabama.
That's my people.
He carries the Choctaw and the Cherokee. And so I've always been familiar with my indigenous American background. And I've also been very fluent in my African American, being named Booker Taliaferro Coleman Jr. You know, that Dr. Clark, when he first met me when I was 12 and a half, he said, "Oh, Booker T, you're going to be a great teacher one day." And what was interesting is I wanted to be an astronomer, and I wanted to go into, I really wanted to be an astronaut. So when he told me that, I really wasn't quite there, but look at how I turned. So I guess the brother knew something about me that I didn't know when I was 12 and a half. And so I'm very much aware of the history and the culture from my perspective. So much more to learn, but I'm very much aware of the indigenous population and who they are and who they represent and the beauty of their culture.
Hold on. Can I stop it for a second? I don't want to do this, but I got to get this in the beginning. Let me stop it for a real quick second. All right. So first and foremost, SaNeter, even in the title, you're indigenous. I don't even think a person that says they're indigenous has ever been on SaNeter's platform. So let's start there. So Aboriginal is this big ass elephant in this goddamn room. Let's start there. 2, native. Stop saying native, bro. It's no disconnect. It's a disconnect with you guys because you are continuously using words like native and indigenous, and those words are interchangeable with Native Americans. Oh, I know you guys say, okay, well, what about the indigenous people, whatever? Well, do you guys celebrate Indigenous People Day? Anybody can raise their hand. Let me know. Email me. Let me know what do you do to celebrate Indigenous People Day. And I'm gonna tell you that you're doing something that is associated with the Johnny Come Latelys, right? And see, once again, when he says that he is associating himself with the indigenous people, he's saying the natives, right? Because he's already, him and SaNeter, he didn't correct SaNeter by saying, no, I'm not native. I'm an aboriginal to this land. Aborigines to this land. Aboriginal to this land. And it means something. And the reason why they're avoiding it, and you know, I already know where this is going. But the reason why they're avoiding this is because they're still pushing the whole out of Africa hypotheses. Now, out of Africa is a hypothesis that has not, in science, has not made the theoretical stage yet. It's still in the mythological stage. It hasn't made even the theoretical stage yet to even become a law of science. So anything that's attached to that, and you know, you guys know this, but anything that's attached to this, a lot of new listeners, anything that's attached to the out of Africa, which is a social construct, anything that's attached to the out of Africa concept is pseudo because it has not yet been proven. Okay. It has not been proven. You can't prove it. Can't prove it. And there's not even any stories to tell you where the first man came from. So it cannot be proven. Okay. It cannot be proven. So that's one thing I can prove. I can't prove that they can't prove that. And they cannot make it be a fact. So they still attach this whole thing to that. So this brother is going to attach himself to it. That's just what he's doing. But once again, he says the African American side. Just because you're named Booker T and everything, Booker T never called himself an African. Where? Show me the documentation. So once again, we got it. I don't want to, because I watched a little bit, so I know kind of what he's about to say right here. But this shit's getting really weird. Once again, I don't know if it's a script, native and indigenous, but we're not having the same conversation. Aboriginal trumps all of that. Let's go. Let's get right into this, man. Hey, man, press go if you truly descend from the greatest human beings in world history, Craig. It's your Sahab, and I come in peace. Oh, and by the way, you tuned into the greatest of all motherfucking time. Hey, this is why I'm the GOAT. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to show y'all. Right here. I'm going to show y'all. Let's go.
United States of America as we know it today. And I'm talking about Central and South America also, and the Caribbean. And so I've always been interested in the topic.
We can't hear you, SaNeter. You're muted.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. I want to get straight to the point. Let me ask you, Professor, who are the first Americans to land here on these shores?
Not only would I say the first Americans to land, the first human beings that populated the planet. Let's go back that far, because before the first peoples got to America, first of all, the first people that came to this continent, according to evidence. Now, what becomes important where I'm coming from, and my brother SaNeter and my sister Nepal, one of the things I've always focused on is evidence. I believe in evidence, and I believe in science. And science, I don't mean astronomy, biology, chemistry, and the sciences we think. Science comes from the word scient, which means knowledge, to know, to have wisdom. So it incorporates all the subject areas, from language arts to the physical sciences, which include the science and the math, engineering, and also the social studies, which is geography and history, politics, economics, and the social. And so I'm very heavy into evidence. And so the evidence that I've been exposed to, that I have studied, comes to the fact that all human beings, wherever they find themselves in the world today, are what is called autochthonous to Central and Southern Africa. Period. Stop.
That's not true.
And it is there that the Twa Mbuti people, the Khoisan, another group of people we talk about, from Central and Southern Africa. In the middle of Africa, fanning out, going a little bit north and northeast. They also went west. They also went south. But they are originating. They are from the soil. There is only one place on the planet where the human family came from the soil. Every place else that we find human beings, they migrated there. That's the evidence that I have. That's my evidence. And what I have said to others that have had varying concepts, being very honest, show me your evidence. And if your evidence is as overwhelming as the evidence I have of the origin of the human family, I am willing to adjust my teaching. But don't come with emotion and don't come with a story. Show me your evidence. Anthropology, archaeology, and I know what evidence looks like. And I went to Mexico with Dr. Van Sertima in 1983. My bad, 1984. And I studied with the Aknefa study group in the various places that Dr. Van Sertima had studied. And I then would come to be great honor to meet my brother, Dr. David Imhotep, who he and I have had extended conversations over the years on the movement of the human family and the evidence of Africans coming to this part of the world. And by the way, they didn't come by the Bering Strait. The first Africans, the Paleo-Americans, paleo meaning ancient, the first Paleo-Americans that came here came via Africa. Chances are they came according to a current. It's called the Benguela Current, coming up out of the central southern part of Africa. Evidence of the migration. And they came up through, and chances are the very first humans came through the Amazon River, through South America, and peopled the planet from south to north. And then the second migration.
Wait. Stop right there. Stop right there.
Who is called the Clovis Folsom.
I can't. No. Hold on a second, dude. Okay. So, this is going to be a news flash to everybody. This is a news flash to even Dr. David Imhotep, that he's talking about autochthonous to Africa. You can't, this is new. This brother right here made that up. That is made up. I just want to point that out. Shout out to the autochthonous one. Period. America sprung from this soil. That's what is associated with autochthonous. The autochthonous ones, the ancient ones. We're talking about the paleo. He's right about that. But when he's talking about where they come from, he's talking about coming from the Amazon River. Ladies and gentlemen, the Amazon River is in America. It is spread out, and then people, even according to his story, what he's talking about right there, if you're talking about chances are, that means you don't know. You're saying something you don't know. Just say you don't know. See, this is one of these things that people just don't know. But what we can tell y'all, right? What we can tell y'all is that we've been here, and these same people still have a story of them springing from this soil. That's our origin story, that we sprung from this soil. That's our ancient story that's been passed down. So once again, we know that other people came and attached themselves to our stuff, but they're Johnny-come-latelys. They're admixtures, 20th century things. So when you guys are talking, stop allowing people to say native or indigenous. These terms are have been amalgamated, have been set up by these people because they're the ones created these terms, and that's why they're trying to get away from aborigines, because they know that these. Once again, it's all about levels, and he says he's about adjusting. It's about evidence, right? So here's the thing. Dr. David Imhotep, here's one of the evidence for himself right here. He said, it's one of the brothers. He said he had to make an adjustment. And he said, yeah, Africa's a motherland, right? Well, one of the interviews that we did, I think this was the first interview we did with him, right? He said that Africa was the motherland, But according to the evidence and the things that he's seen in Guatemala, not just in Mexico. I don't know if he went to Mexico and met him in Guatemala or whatever, right? But in Guatemala, right, that America was grandma. Well, we like to say great grandma. See how that work? And I just think, once again, we have what y'all don't have. It's called evidence. We have things that you can go touch. It's a lot of things. When we talk about bones, we don't have to go that far back to prove that we were already here with bones and things that we can prove. And see, people say, well, you guys can't use the bones. Well, that's called anthropology. So they're just going to throw that whole concept, paleontology, and anthropology, they're just going to throw that in the trash, huh? Just because you guys don't understand it or like it, right? That's really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to point that out, that this is what this brother's doing right here. And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or he's still learning. Well, I know he's still learning, but Dr. David Imhotep, I don't know if he got the news flash, but I've seen him on the Philippe Shock Matthews show here recently. So I hope they done had this conversation. If not, somebody tag him in as we're going to edify him. The things that he's got wrong right here. So, and that's just with respect, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nepal. Let's go. Yeah, man, but look, I can't let y'all get away with that. That's not gonna work. I'm like Mutombo. No.
And also there is evidence from Harold Gladwin and our brother Runoko Rashidi that also talks about the movement of the second wave of Africans, a taller stature African, as opposed to the short stature, because the first stature, the Twa Mbuti Khoisan, are derogatorily called the pygmy. They are the first peoples that people visit. And then the second was the Clovis Folsom, came thousands of years after that. And we're going back 100,000 years at least. There is evidence of an African woman in San Diego, California. Her bones dated 90,000 to 80,000 years.
Y'all hear this? Listen. Real scholarship here, y'all.
I'm talking about evidence.
That's right.
I'm not talking about anything other than the evidence that we can show and trace. Now, let me tell the family something else. Just as Dr. David Imhotep being influenced and mentored by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, I am sure that younger generations will become more accurate with our information. They'll fill in a lot of the blanks that we have right now. So it's important that I tell our community and I tell people, whoever will listen to me. SaNeter, you heard me say this over and over again. Don't believe a word I say. My job is not to make you believe me. I only want to make you think.
That's right.
I believe that the greatest of teachers that I've had have put their information on the table and demanded that I think about what they say. Don't believe them. Come to your own conclusions. That's what Malcolm taught us. Come to your own conclusions about what you see around you and depend on the evidence that will show you. The third group of people were another African-based people known as the Algonquin. The fourth are known as the Inuit, or derogatorily called the Eskimo. And the fifth are the people that we today call the Mongoloids. And I don't like that word because of what it means, but they were escaping what's called the Mongol invasions. They came in much larger numbers because they were escaping the war of Genghis Khan and others. And they came by the Bering Strait. So that what this civilization has done, they've taken the last migration that was—
That's not true. Genghis Khan and the Bering Strait are not even in the same timeline, brother. Only in metaverse.
Years ago.
Stop it.
Well, we'll get better at those dates, but right now I'm looking at chronology.
Now, at this time, and I want you to go on. I don't want to take you somewhere else. At this time, there's no Bible or Quran on the planet yet.
Oh no, no.
Okay.
No,
it's no Mongols 10,000, 18,000 years ago either, sir. Stop it.
There were, as you're talking about the Western religions, no, they didn't.
Okay, go ahead.
However, the spiritual system of Africa, which is the book that I wrote, Spirituality Before Religions, my second book, highlights how the ancient peoples came up with a spiritual system upon which all the world's major religions, and Dr. Ben will teach you this, he wrote a book about it, all other religions were codified and concretized and also misinterpreted and brought forward into the world. And so there are no religious systems that exist in the world right now, but there are deeply spiritual systems, because we know that the Twa and Buti had a word in their civilization known as Ma'a. And that is where—
Say that again?
Ma'a. And
now this is before Kemet.
This is before Kemet, yes. This is long before.
Okay, yes,
this
that's
is where
right.
Cush got it from. This is where Kemet got it from.
This is
That's
ancient
right.
Egypt. We're standing in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet.
Christian Kemet.
It's just a descriptive term of our culture
Egypt, I said,
in America.
I can't call it. I'm going to call it Kemet. And the other thing is that you cannot understand the greatness of Egypt or Kemet if you don't understand the Cush who brought the civilization into Kemet in the beginning, but you can't understand the Cush if you don't understand the Twa and Buti, because the Twa and Buti existed and still exist today. You can see them amongst the Kung people of South Africa. You can see them in Central Africa. They're the short-statured people, 3'8" to maybe they're giants who are 5'2". They had Ma'a, which was the initial force, the spiritual force. What our ancestors in Kush Kemet called the Ka, they called Iliana, I-L-I-A-N-A. For more information, I encourage you to get a book called The Integration Trap by Dr. Obata, because this brother opened my eyes to a lot of information about the Twa and Buti people. And so they had a system of life. These were the peoples that began as hunters and gatherers. And then from being a hunter and gatherer, they became fisher people. And then from there, they became agriculturalists, and they controlled their eating habits. And that is what bolstered the human family. And it was in studying agriculture, according to Dr. Edward Bruce Bynum in his book, Dark Light. See, I'm talking about evidence, family. I'm referring you to books. I'm not telling you just to believe it because it's in a book, because there's a lot of lies in books. What I'm attempting to do is lay out for the community where I found my information and where I have my evidence. And so therefore, if there is a challenge to what I am saying, I embrace it, I accept it, I want to hear it, but you better have evidence to what you're saying.
That's right.
That's all I got to say. Bring your, I've studied all, SaNeter, we go back years. I've done the time in the study. I've done the time in the teaching. We don't have time to play around with people's egos.
That's right.
We have to get to the evidence so that we can teach our babies the realities of who they need to know they are, where they have been, and what they have accomplished. And quite frankly, I'll tell you the truth. Even if life started in America, it wouldn't make me any difference because they still would have to be black. So I'm not trying to force my view on anybody. I'm willing to adapt. I think that's what's made me grow the way I have, because I have adjusted my teachings. I focused a great deal on Alexander von Wutenow and Ivan van Sertima. They came before Columbus and his Journal of African Civilizations. And then I was introduced to Dr. David Imhotep. And because of his work, I adjusted my views because he showed me evidence.
All right, let me bring on Queen Nepal. Nepal, you have a couple of questions there that you want to get in. Go ahead, Queen. Unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you so much. This is very fascinating information. I have a lot of questions, but on this topic, a lot of questions for the Honorable Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. But for this topic, I do want to ask questions that I think other people will be.
Let me let you know too, Nepal, I'm sorry. In case you didn't know, this brother is the melanin king. See, we go back. You know, he have done many lectures on
Right.
the melanin. So
That's
I know
what I
you
wanted
have
to
written
talk
some
to him
questions on melanin. So this
I-
is the man.
You know, you're reading my mind. I have a lot of questions on melanin, but I want to stay on this very intriguing topic. What about when, because you mentioned the fifth migration, talk to the people with the about the dates. As far as I know, you said about Genghis Khan. I had listened to you before say that they were escaping the people of that time. They were escaping the reign of Genghis Khan around 1200, from like 1200 in the 1220s. Tell us, how do we reason about the Bering Strait? Because that's what, 14,000 BCE. So is it that they were migrating all the time through the Bering Strait? Can you clear that up for us? I don't know if you've been asked that before.
I would rather say waves of migration.
Okay.
I would say that they were sedentary, and then they had to start moving because of different invasions and fights and different things going on, emanating from the northern climate, the Ice Age. People that, when the Ice Age ended about 12,000 BC, the ice melted away, and it allowed the Africans who had mutated into Indo-Europeans began to return south. And they came in as invaders.
Wait. Time out. We gotta stop it again. I'm sorry. We gotta stop this again. Whoa. So once again, she's probably sharp enough to understand this and catch him again. Sir, the fuck is you talking about? So even when it melted, according to you, so the ice melted 12,000 years ago. These Africans, right, according to you, sir, had amalgamated into Indo-Europeans. Then those are the ones who came here on the what migration? Is this the first one? Is this the second one? Is this the fifth one into America? This sounds really crazy because we have shit that's older than 12,000 years, 18,000 years, 20,000 years, 30,000 years here in America. You just said it was a woman 90,000 years in fucking San Diego, sir. Man, listen, I don't know why this is a thing. I don't know why people are talking. 90,000 years old is older than people in China. I mean, so that don't even make sense. That this conversation is dumb, sir. You're jumping inside, you're weaving inside the timeline. You got Genghis Khan and them skating on ice rinks and shit like that coming to America. Then, you're swapping out shit, stories right here, whatever. This is really sloppy work right here. Just say you don't know, but don't be speaking on who are the first Americans if y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. And this is why I get irritated right here, because people are very confused. And this is why they're confused with the language and the things that you guys are saying. And also just convoluted out of Africa, Indo-European ass story. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. Hey, Tayshawn, what's up, brother?
Yeah,
Hey, you
what's
want to say
good,
something real
man?
fast when we get back in this video, brother?
You go ahead. I got a lot to say, so I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to get back to this thing, but I had to say that I could not let that go. It's a few things we'll get back to later, but yeah, that right there, that's egregious. And I'm glad she called him up right there. But yeah, man, Genghis Khan wasn't at the same time period. And it's like what you're saying now, as far as the amalgamation of these people, that happened in the late 19th century and the 20th century to create, what did you call, mestizos, not mongoloids. Mestizos, mixed people. These people are mixed, and they just got created. They're not ancient people. We are the ancient ones. This is our fucking land, and we're gonna prove it. Matter of fact, we've been proved it, so it's not a debate. That's why it's never gonna be a debate, because I would never debate anybody. You cannot listen. Think about this, y'all. When you're having a debate, right, in any level, I don't give a fuck if it's in kindergarten to the collegiate level, you cannot debate hypotheses and guesswork, because you got to give us your information where you got it from. So if you got a book that's going to go to another book that's going to go to something else, no, you don't have none of these things. You don't have no evidence of this said amalgamation of Indo-Europeans 12,000 years ago. That's fake. That's false. That's agreed. No, nobody coming across the Bering Strait when we've already debunked that by showing evidence, sir, of people selling boats before, during, and after what is the time period that you're talking about. That's people would have on this imaginary land bridge, sir. So that's what we're saying. I can prove. I can prove. See, y'all notice that SaNeter didn't need any evidence for the 90,000-year-old lady in San Diego, right? But just because he said she's an African, he clapped his hand. See, Africa and African is a social construct, period, that did not exist 90,000 years ago or even 200 years ago. So y'all gonna have to make this make sense. Stop allowing people to write words back into time periods that didn't exist. So that's what we're gonna say right there. But back to this right here. Man, this is terrible already. It's gonna get bad, y'all. Yeah, we probably won't make it to the end of this one right here. Hey, let's go. Let's get back to this thing. I'm just saying, Tayshawn, man, they be acting like, man, why they want to debate you? That's why. I'm fuck y'all over, bro. I'm not about to play with y'all. You're not gonna come to the damn debate with DNA, period. Because that goes along with the Out of Africa and the Eugenics Society and the every order. I mean, it's just like you guys are pushing 23andMe. You know what I'm saying? It's just terrible. In the NAACP and Black Lives Matter. That's what you guys are doing, and it sucks. And y'all have the nerve to be pushing that and act like you're really trying to do something for our people. Really? So no, just understand when you see people that are attaching themselves to the collegiate standard of stuff and then tell you, well, we know this stuff is fucked up in books. Well, show us the evidence of this, what you're talking about. You have to have the bones of, but I can show you bones of niggas in China 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, 7,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago. I can go on and on and on and on and on. But once again, you have people that are going along with the story and not the evidence. And that's what he's doing right here. So let's get back to this thing. Terrible.
Senegalese scholar. He says that the barrier was the 51st parallel, which cuts Ireland in half. It cuts England, and it goes across Holland. It goes across Asia, and it's like a cap on the head of the earth. The Arctic Circle. And so I would rather look for now, because my sister Nepal, we have so much more research to do.
Right.
And everything I'm doing and everything that all the scholars that have preceded me have done is to lay the groundwork for the younger scholars to take that work and take it to the next level. And it's important that I understand that what I'm saying is not written in stone. But I do know what I'm talking about. I've got the evidence of what I'm talking about. But what I say is we can become more accurate. And every generation becomes more accurate. Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop did not have a Cheikh Anta Diop to study under. Mm-hmm. John Henry Clark sat at the feet of Arturo Schomburg. Mm-hmm. Okay? I sat at the feet of Dr. John Henry Clark. There are young scholars that I am working with now, brothers and sisters in this work. And there will be those that work with them, and every generation will make it better. Dr. John Henry Clark told me once, you may not get to your destination, but if you leave the proper roadmap, those that follow you will continue your journey. And that's what we're doing. And for that, on my website, www.kabakamene.com.
We got it in the chat. The people we got you up in the chat, brother.
Good.
Yes,
that's
sir.
My study guide. 44 pages. It's an outline. It lists all the books, the African origins in Africa, the African origins in Europe, the African origins in America, the African origins in Asia. It got all of the books and the themes, because I just don't give people a book list. I give you a theme to study. For instance, my third book, Shabaka Stone. I introduce people to Shabaka Stone when they ask me, well, how do I begin studying Shabaka Stone? The first book I encourage you to read, in fact, I don't even encourage you to read the book. I encourage you to read chapter 8, page 139 to 151 in Stolen Legacy by Dr. George G.M. James. That introduces you to the Shabakistan. It lays the groundwork for you, a great general view. And then after that, I encourage you to read another book titled Egypt Revisited. There are 2 essays in that. One is written by Jacques Sabibsi, who talks about the great work of Dr. Theophilio Obenga, who will be at this One Africa United conference this weekend. And then the next chapter after Jacques Sabibsi in Egypt Revisited is Dr. Theophilio Obenga's essay. They both deal with the importance of the Shabakistan. And then the third book is Civilization or Barbarism, chapter 17, Does an African Philosophy Exist? Written by Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop. So I don't tell you, okay, read all of Stolen Legacy, read all of Egypt Revisited, read all of Civilization or Barbarism. I pick chapters out that pertain to a theme. And the same is true for all the other subjects that I talk about. I teach by themes, conceptual themes that have books, that have chapters, that have pages that will go deep. It's not that you're not going to read all the Stolen Legacy when you're done with me. It's just that for the theme, you're going to read a particular chapter. So you don't get caught up in just going through the books. I'm a thematic teacher. And so the books that we're dealing with and what it is that we're attempting to do is to build up an understanding. I have 4 webinars on my website and on my Instagram page in my bio, dealing with the origins of the original people of America. We get right up into Cahokia in Illinois. Today we call it Collinsville, Illinois. We have a chapter on the migrations of human beings to this continent and the way in which they came. And when we're looking at this information, my sister, we have to understand, from my perspective, how to study. Everybody's always telling children, go home and study. But no one ever taught us how to study. Yeah. Study is an art. There's a way to study that you can bring in all the information. I have a webinar series, quick webinars on teaching methodologies where we're talking about the brain. The last one we did this past yesterday, was on the 2 hemispheres of the brain. Mm. How do we study? How did our ancestors teach their children? What was the majestic way of studying that allowed our ancestors to build the Meru, or what is called the pyramids? We don't think like that now. We don't think like our ancestors. Everybody's always talking about how much of the brain you use. That's not the way to look at it. The way to look at what we're doing is not how much of your brain you use. You see, it's not quantitative. You don't think about, okay, Albert Einstein used 11% of his brain. That's not how you have to look at intelligence. Our ancestors taught the whole brain. And they understood what is called stereognosis, STEREOGNOSIS, to know the balance, the holistic way of thinking. African people taught not left brain or right brain. You know, they say your left brain is where your mathematician and your scientist is. And they say that your right hemisphere of your brain is where your musician and your artist lives. To give you an example of what I mean when I say use both hemispheres of your brain, is like when I used to teach mathematics, I would teach math, arithmetic to 3rd graders. But for the homework assignment, I told them, okay, you can solve the problem. 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, that's good. But I mean, that's simple. But I want you to draw the formula. Don't just solve the problem. I want you to draw it, because when I did that, the left side of the brain did the math, but the right side of the brain drew it. So I was making you use both sides of your brain at the same time. And that creates pathways of learning in the neurons in your brain.
Right.
All right, my brother. I want to get these questions out because I know Jabari gonna come in a minute, and once Jabari get in here, he gonna be going crazy. So Nepal, I want you to go ahead and finish up your questions as soon as you can. But let me ask you this, Professor. We got the Hebrew Israelites, we got the Moors, and we got the natives. All three of these groups don't want to have nothing to do with Africa. Why is it so easy for you to make the connection, to connect the dots? And you got native all in your blood, but you are able to make the connection. I would say, I'm going to answer the question for you, but I'm going to let you go a little deeper.
That's crazy.
Because you do fact-finding research and you study. That's why it's easy for you. But I want you to tell us in your own words, why is it so easy for you when all these other groups can't find Africa, hate Africa, don't want nothing to do with Africa, teach against it to our babies and to our children? Why is it so easy for you to connect it?
Well, let me say this in due respect to my brothers and sisters who are Hebrew Israelites, to all of my brothers who are and sisters who are Moors, and to all of my brothers and sisters who are native. Much respect and regard. I don't care what you call yourself, as long as you know when I'm talking to you, you know I'm talking to you. I don't separate us. Isms create schisms. And the one thing that we have to understand as Black folk is everywhere I study our history, from Kemet during the 6th dynasty of the Old Kingdom to the Moors in 1491 and 1492, to the enslavement of African people, to the civil rights movement, to today, I've never seen an outside culture come in and defeat us. I see them take advantage of us fighting amongst ourselves. We must stop fighting amongst ourselves. And be you a Moor, a Hebrew Israelite, a member of the Nation of Islam, or a Black Baptist preacher, or a native. Let's come together, put our information on the table, take the best and leave the rest. And let us come together as one people with an understanding of who we are as a people. See, because white people say, I'm white. They're not fighting whether they're Irish or European, Ukrainian. They understand they're one people. And together they are able to defeat anything that tries to come in and usurp their power. And for as long as we're fighting amongst ourselves, we will never be able to unite. So that, with much respect to everyone else, I cannot say what is power or not power, or right or what is wrong. I come before you as your brother. I put my information on the table like we're doing right now. And I say, examine what I say. But don't believe me just because I'm saying it. It's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's that the perspective, I don't want you to come to me and listen to me and just think because I say it, you're going to accept it. Make it so that you can come to your own conclusion about what you're learning. And always be able to adjust your thinking according to what makes sense to you. Take the sense out the nonsense. I have adjusted my thinking for years. I continue to adjust my thinking. And I adjust my thinking because I am not looking for my truth. I'm looking for the truth.
Okay. Nepal, I want you to go ahead and ask your other question, Queen. Okay, let me ask why she's probably taking care of something.
No, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
I do have a question. I love everything you're saying. It's very inspiring, very motivating. I think it does push us toward unifying past. I love that isms create schisms. I'm going to have to use that if you don't mind, with all due respect. But I was listening to you about the way we got here. You mentioned something about the current. Can you talk a little bit more? Because I have heard things about, we know about the trade winds also, and we've also heard about the monsoons from between, well, I've heard about monsoons between Africa and Asia. Would you please speak to us more about how Africans, I'm assuming you're saying through what obviously said the current, how did we get here? Is there any empirical evidence that you could point us to show us, okay, this is how the Africans got to the Americas? I know you said the Bering Strait with the French
Great
migration,
fucking question,
but going
Nepal.
back to what you said about currents, and sailing, can you speak a little bit more about that? Thank you.
Off of the west coast of Africa, there are 3 currents, and there are wind systems. And there was an attempt by Thor Heyerdahl where he set, it's called Ra 1 and Ra 2. And these boats went on the water with no help, no oars, and just by the just by the winds and the ocean currents, they left the middle current off of West Africa and found themselves in the Gulf of Mexico. Now we know that the early sailors from Africa had sails and they had oars and they understood how to manipulate the waters to be able to travel. So they did have that power. But even if they didn't have the power, the ocean currents, it's called moving roads. There are 3, and in fact, every hurricane that comes to America that goes into the Gulf of Mexico leaves that same current. That's the current it rides on to get to America in the first place. And it's the heat of the water in the summertime, basically, that we have, that allows that the winds and to travel on the ocean current just like it's on an escalator. And it comes straight across into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, if the winds are coming and they are further south, they'll go around Florida and they'll come up into New Orleans and ride the Mississippi River. If it's a little bit more north, then what will happen? It will hit Florida and ride the coast up of Florida. And then there's a northern one that's just above the middle current that also will bring you, and sometimes that can even lead to Canada, where you can have hurricanes there. Now, the weather systems on the other side will create the monsoons. They'll create a lot of the others as it relates to the land between the west coast of America, going into Australia, Asia, and then Africa. It's all about nature. When you study nature, you study yourself. Nature was our first teacher.
All right. Let me ask you, my brother. Speak to us about the debates some of our people have about our Black indigenous, about us being Black indigenous to America versus we came here to America on slave ships.
They're both right.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't no argument there. Okay, the 3 of us right here, we have the DNA of the Africans that were enslaved. Basically, let's just put a date post 1492. We have the West African blood. We also have Congolese blood. A lot of Congolese people were stolen from Africa too and brought to America. But we also could have the Paleo-American blood in us. We could have both bloods in us. All of the waves of African people that came here, we could have that blood in us. The Clovis Folsom and all of the other bloods that we have. We're both right. We're just arguing over who first. I don't care who's first. Because no matter who was first, we here now. What we going to do? This is why I say, if you can bring me evidence that will show that life started in America, I will adjust my teaching the day after I figure that out. I'm not about my truth. I'm about the evidence of what I'm seeing as the truth. And there are certain things biologically and climatologically that makes, for me, the evidence I have illogical to think that life could start anywhere else but in Africa. 99.9% of everything in an ape is a human being. Now, I know a lot of people like to hear that. But
Is there
every organ and gland we have in our body is in the same place in a gorilla.
all right? Let me welcome the Floyd Mayweather of the conscious community in the building, brother Jabari. You already know what it is. We got Nepal, Queen Nepal, and Kaba Hayawata Kamini in the building. How you doing, brother Jabari? I know you just getting out of your class and rushing in to sit with our brother here for a minute.
Yes, I definitely want to say peace to the whole family, and I'm honored to sit. I'm always honored whenever I have a chance to sit with Baba Kaba, to just hear the rigor of his thinking, and his ability to put together things that some folks think are separate. And so I'm honored to be with him. I'm going to be with him in Detroit. You know, I'm going to be looking to break some bread with him because he's one of my favorite.
Well, you just came in right on time because I'm getting ready to ask him this question.
Yes, I'm listening.
Professor Kaba, is there any evidence of Kemet coming to America that you may have come across?
Yes, there's a number of indications of Kemet. Or Egypt. I call it Kush Kemet because Kemet doesn't really exist,
right,
as it relates, or Egypt. Okay, the people that peopled what we call Egypt before the first dynasty and the first dynasty came from Inner Africa, came from Kush. The evidence is Kustal, where they found the incense burner that shows it. And the evidence, and the thing that I really appreciate about Dr. Van Sertima's work and the work that is being done by other scholars in this area is the fact that it is multidisciplined. We find products in Africa that came from America, and we find products in America that came from Africa. And we find similarities of words, tabaka, banana. And so what Dr. Van Sertima's book does, They Came Before Columbus, it highlights the various factors that show the evidence of continental relationships between Africa and America, Asia and America. There's a series of books by Dr. Jarazboy, where he talks about the Chinese presence in America. Now, the Chinese presence is not the Chinese that we know today. It's the original Africans that were in Asia that came to America thousands of years ago. And so for me, what's important, and how we address each other, because I'm looking at some of the comments, how we address each other in the intellectual, there are no words like crazy.
Right.
There's no words like foolishness. When you got your story together and you have your evidence, you put your information on the table to be studied, and scholars tear it up. It's the excitement of knowledge and wisdom, but it ain't personal. Family, we can disagree and not be disagreeable. We can have unity and not be unified. We are not a monolithic thinking people. We come from many different areas. And one of the first things that we have to do, first, we must learn to respect ourselves. And then we can respect other people. How you speak to other people really is how you feel about yourself. Because if you had your facts in place, show your evidence.
That's it.
That's all I'm saying. Show your evidence, and I will adjust my thinking and teaching But with everybody I've come in contact with, I've only heard them say, you're wrong. But I ain't seen no evidence.
That's right.
Show me.
That's it.
You
So
that bad? You got it together? Show me your evidence. Show me anthropological, archaeological. Show me botanical. Show me the evidence. I'm not looking for my truth. I'm not trying to beat over people's head that life came from Africa. The evidence shows that. There is a preponderance of overwhelming evidence. You have the 6 forms of human being: Australopithecus robustus, Australopithecus gracile, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens sapiens. The first 3 humans, Australopithecus robustus, Australopithecus gracile, and Homo habilis, can only be found in Africa by millions of years. And the Homo erectus is the first human that leaves Africa and peoples places like Saudi Arabia in the Horn of Africa. Show me the evidence of the first humans in America.
That's it.
Show me the Australopithecines. Show me the evidence of the bones. Don't tell me. Show me.
And with that, Queen Nepal, do you have anything else before I open up the gate and let Jabari come up in here?
Yes, thank
That's
you.
Brother Longwind right there.
Please, Brother SaNeter, please remember my time limits.
Okay, I got you. All right, go ahead, Nepal, because I want Jabari to get it in.
Wonderful. Peace to Brother Jabari, by the way, and to his queen. There's so much, so I'm just going to ask, because you said you were talking about evolution of the different hominids, the species. I wanted to ask you, this isn't on the topic of the American migrations, but I wanted to ask you, Baba Kaba Hiawatha, do you think there is right now an evolution of the Homo sapiens species? Like, are we, because and how does that affect our melanin? Are we seeing something like that? Some type of evolution of this particular species, and how does it relate to melanin?
There is a presentation I do that I've studied the work of some of the scholars like Dr. Richard King, the great melanist and psychiatrist. And there is evidence that not only just today, but there's evidence even years ago that there was a being that was evolving growing out of the Homo sapiens sapiens that is called Super Sapiens. And if y'all are into Dragon Ball Z, you know who I'm talking about. Super Saiyans, okay?
Wait a minute. How did you know I'm talking about anime? No, but I'll just be quiet. I'm gonna mute out.
No, that's all right, because when you look at this new movie out here called Moon Knight, they talking about Khonsu right now. So that we understand when you're exposed to your culture and you understand your culture, you then can read through the nonsense that's out here, where they're stealing your culture, putting other faces on it, selling it. But when you know that this is your culture, then you don't have a problem. And so, yes, there are, and I believe that they exist today. And I believe that every one of us has the potential. And in school, when I taught, for those that may not know, I taught in the New York City Board of Education for over 31 years. I taught college for 14 years. I've taught every grade. I've taught every subject, including postgraduate students. I have worked with 7 students that we call indigo. Indigo children are geniuses. I could tell stories of the 7, and I've worked with both young men and young women. And one of the cornerstones to their genius is that they have a very serious problem with authority because they're smarter than most adults, and they're not afraid to tell the adults that they're full of it. And normally they get sent either to the dean's room, the principal's office, or they used to send them to me. So that what becomes important as we begin to develop and understand what it is that we're putting out there, to understand, yes, they do exist. But what's most important, family, is that that power exists in each and every one of us. The question is, what are we doing with it?
All right. Hey, Kaba, I'm sorry. I'm rolling because I know I'm trying to respect your time. And I want Jabari to get ahead and get some of his
My brother, yes,
deal
brother,
with
my
you. Brother Jabari, the doors is
family.
open, Floyd Mayweather.
Well, let's say that I have enjoyed listening to Baba Kamba speak for over 20 years. So I was a young student in some of his lectures during college. Actually, it's earlier than 20 years. So I'm well familiar with this work. And I want you, Baba Kaba, to speak to some of the dichotomy. Now, I was listening a little bit after my class. And I know that you have said that you don't want to argue about whether we were in the Americas or, well, no, that's not quite what you said. You don't want to argue about whether we have Native in our DNA and Africans in our DNA, because we have both. I think I want you to speak specifically to some of the challenges that some folks have come up with, because what has happened in some groups in our community is they've tried to say, because there are people that have Native heritage, that means that we did not come from Africa, that we were always here. That's the part that becomes really confused and muddled. And I know that you're speaking to that specifically, but I want you to directly speak to those folks that are trying to say that we are not Africans, that we are simply the indigenous Americans to this land.
There is only one race on the planet.
Oh boy.
And because of biological climatology and the role that melanin plays, my sister Napa, the scientific laws we're dealing with is Glosier's law, Allen's law, and Bergman's law. One law deals with melanation or color, pigmentation. Another deals with morphology or body size. And the other one basically deals with length of limbs. There is only one race on the planet. It's the human race. And because of biological climatology, that race was conceived, born, sustained, nurtured, educated, civilized, technologized. And as Dr. Clark say, after Africans got their show together, then they took it on the road and peopled the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we find mounds in America. And the mounds were really earth. See, nature taught us about how to build meru or pyramids. There were original structures. In Kemet, they were called Ptah, the hill. And what humans began to realize is that according to the shadow that was cast by the sun on the mound, could tell them what time of day it was and what season they were experiencing, which led to agricultural science. And they learned what to plant when through that. And so nature was our first teacher. And so if you are native, well, let me take it another way. If you Ukrainian, you African. If you British, you African. If you Japanese, you African. All humans belong to one race.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened with the African race as it moved out of Africa and the tropical climate into the colder climates, that's when the African broke off and became what we call ethnic stocks. There is no white race. There is no yellow or Asian race. Those are ethnic stocks that are mutations of the original African race, but they're not races. Now, to some people might not like what I'm about to say, but there's no such thing as an interracial marriage. Because to have an interracial marriage means that you have to have more than one race. You have an intraracial, which means that within the race you can have an intercultural relationship. Someone from Ireland marries somebody from an African from Jamaica. That's not an interracial relationship. That's an intraracial, but intercultural relationship. And so if you are Native American, you're African. Now, whether you want to accept that or not, that's on you. And I respect your right not to want to be that. You have every right to say you don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And I accept it, but please don't try to get me into your rabbit hole. Because I'm trying to teach the babies who they are. I don't have time for anything other but evidence. And don't be telling me that they're finding bones. Show me the bones.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in what we say.
Yeah.
When you look at the work of Cheikh Anta Diop, when you look at the work of all the great scholars that have done this work and shown you the evidence, the bones of Lucy, the bones of Ardipithecus, the bones of Africans that go back millions of years, I have no problem being a native of African descent. Now, if some people do, that's on you.
Right. I think
we
that
don't argue about it because I'm living, like little Duval say, I'm living my best life. I ain't got time to go back and forth with you. We have to teach our children.
Yeah. Part of the challenge, Baba Kaba, is that some of these groups are, I guess, banking on some of the confusion that has come into our thinking based on the negative socializations we've received against who we are as Africans. And that's part of the challenge that we have. And the groups are growing. They're getting larger and larger. And as we try to talk to some of these groups about the science that we can that we are actually being able to produce and even some of the descriptions and studies on the artifacts, they just say, basically they say science isn't science. And so that's the kind of challenge that we have. And the funny thing is, we're no longer just looking at bones, right? I mean, we can tell this story by DNA. So some of looking for bones, I remember when I was a young person in the 80s, they would say, maybe we'll find older bones someplace else. We're past some of that story because we can look at the DNA of people all across the planet and tell where they have their origin. This is really, it's groundbreaking. And so I think that's part of the challenge that we have. It really is.
And my brother Jabari, while we're honoring this concept of the Genome Project, let us pay homage to our sister Henrietta Lacks. Because it was her cells that started the Genome Project. And the way we can trace our ancestry back to Africa is because of an African woman. But not only that, Y chromosome that was found in a brother in Carolina that can trace him back to Africa hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
This is the evidence we have now. We're going to grow, Brother Jabari.
Yeah.
I am not where I was 20 years ago.
Right.
Professor, when can we have you back? Because when can we have you back? Because the people, they want to hear you, man. When can we bring you back, brother?
Oh, well, we're going to talk about it, Brother SaNeter.
Okay. Right now, I'm sorry, Jabari, but I got to take this caller because I want to respect my brother's time. He got to take care of some business around 11 o'clock. So let me bring on this sister. Sister, what's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, it's Dana. Hi, everybody.
All right. How you doing, Dana?
Good. You can hear me?
Yes,
you can hear me, right?
We hear
okay.
You the one that sent that video on Professor Kaba. You said, SaNeter, you got to play this right here. I said, oh, that's my teacher. That's my man right there. Go ahead.
I took his class. He was teaching at Source of Knowledge bookstore in Newark. That was 10 years ago. It was a class on the Moors. It was a class on the Moors. And I'm definitely going to sign up to his online courses as well. But my question is, so I have 4 grandchildren ranging ages 3 to 8. Do you have any online courses, or can you direct me to where I could start teaching them, about history, Africa, everything? So what would you recommend for children?
I would recommend well, I'm going by my resources, and I'm sure there's many other resources out there, and I hope that everybody will share. But I look and I work with a brother named Marcus Klein from the Freedom Home Academy in Chicago. And this brother has a school that is phenomenal. I also look to my brother, brother Kamali, who has a whole series of curriculums. And also, so those are the 2 sources that I would reach out to. I'm also about to produce a children's activity book. And that's coming out sometime in the summertime. But I'd like to stop now and ask Brother Jabari, if he has any that he would like to recommend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Dwa. I actually have been part of a group called the African Genesis Institute for over 20 years. It's a rite of passage program and a Saturday school. You should go to AfricanGenesisInstitute.org. African Genesis Institute, the number 2, or
Don't do it.
.org. Both of those will take you there. And not only have we used several curricula, but we also take people on trips around the United States and also to Kemet. So parents have been struggling because in many ways, what they need to do is either completely replace or at least augment the education that our kids are receiving in schools. Not everybody has a teacher like Baba Kaba in the classroom, right?
That's right.
That's not easy.
Right, exactly.
All right, hold on, Bobby. Last question, Dana. Go ahead.
Last question, because Paul touched on it when she brought up the Dragon Ball Z, that thing. So I want to ask, do you think us humans will evolve eventually into robots?
No.
Because that's what they're trying, certain people, these billionaires, I think that's what they're trying to do.
It's a rabbit hole. Time and tested,
right.
Cosmically, there is nothing greater than natural intelligence and the natural spirit. That artificial intelligence has its place. This is wonderful, right? It is a computer that allows us to do this. This is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But this ain't stronger than the spirit. The spirit will never be conquered. Whatever we build as men. And even if you were to build a machine, the machine could not be any better than the person that programmed it. So don't ever worry about that. That's nothing but a black hole that they created because they know that they think artificially. They don't think naturally. Dr. Jacob Carruthers teaches us that. They don't think naturally. They see themselves out of nature. Now, please, family, I've written 3 books. I really would like you to consider looking at them and considering them. You can go to my website. You can also go to Amazon. It's according to which would be quicker. If you happen to be somewhere outside the United States, I recommend Amazon because it would cost so much to send it to you. Sometimes it's more expensive than the book itself.
Right.
And then the last thing I'd like to say, family, is this. Don't be rude. Let's respect each other. When we talk to each other, let's respect each other. I know we're into the rap game and all the rest of that because rap came out of my generation. Rap battles and all that. I understand that. But let's respect each other when we talk to each other. And if someone has a view that's counter to yours, I've always realized that I grow when someone disagrees because it makes me think. If someone is agreeing with me, we're just going on and we're agreeing. Don't be rude.
Mm-hmm.
Because you set up a situation that is diametrically opposed to Ma'at. Ma'at is balance. Ishfet separates. Nuclear fusion brings together. Nuclear fission separates. Don't separate yourself from each other. But what's most important is that when you disrespect someone else, it's not a sign that you're disrespecting them. It's a sign that you're disrespecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally think you deserve the best.
Mm-hmm.
And with all our trials and tribulations and all that we've been through and all the pain that we feel, I understand that. And sometimes the only person you can go after is the person that you're with.
Mm-hmm.
We are not our enemy. And remember, you only have one enemy. Each of us is born with a Judas and a Messiah.
Mm.
Judas's job is to make sure you never reach your divine purpose. The Messiah is born in you to make sure Judas fails. Judas falls down 9 times, but the Messiah rises 10. So as you're falling in your disrespect, rise through the Messiah. Learn to respect yourself, and let's learn to respect each other. Let us have a differing of opinion, but not a disunity of our spirits. We have to learn this, and we have to move forward. Put your information on. Let's examine it. Bring me your evidence. I'm open. And if your evidence is conclusive, I will adjust my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, all life came from Africa.
Teach, brother. All right. And hey, I thank you, my brother Kaba. I'll reach out to you when you get back from your trip, you and brother Jabari. Thank you for taking the time out to come bless the platform. The people love you over here. Peace and black power. Professor Kaba, Hayawata Kamene.
All
Peace.
power to the people.
All power to the people.
I'm seeing you, Baba Kava. I'll see you in Detroit.
I'm looking forward to it, brother. Man. Brother, this Saturday and Sunday,
Yes.
I'll go in and register for the One Africa United Conference.
Yes.
Some of the finest minds, not since the ASCAC conference in 1987.
Huh.
I've seen a group of so many brilliant scholars coming to the community. Let's keep on keeping on. It ain't over till we win. And remember, solar power is the future wealth of the planet. And isn't it interesting, where the sun shines the brightest, the people are the most melanated, Sister Napa?
I know. Africa. It's been an honor, Baba Kaba Hayawata. Bless you, and I hope to sit down with you again.
Peace.
Peace.
Okay,
Peace.
Jabari, don't go nowhere.
I'm here.
See
I'm
you
not.
soon.
I haven't disappeared yet.
All right. Peace, Baba.
Peace, Baba.
All right. Hey, Jabari. So for the little bit that you heard, what do you think about what Kaba was saying?
I have no disagreement with what he's saying. I came in and tried to clarify it for your audience, SaNeter, because I think that it's extremely important for us to recognize the role.
Now you know Kaba have some
native
indigenous in it as far as dealing with the native the Americans of this land. But you see, he's not biased. He's letting you know Africa first, baby. He knows this.
And SaNeter, I think it's important for us to recognize there are some of us that have native lineage as well. Now, the number is much lower than most people of African descent attribute. Most people look at a picture and see the great grandmama has a long nose and some straighter hair, and we say, oh, she's a Native American, when in actuality, when we do the DNA studies, we tend to see that there's also European heritage, and we know how that got into our gene pool through a painful reality during our enslavement. But the reality is at least 5% of us have direct Native American DNA, and we should always recognize that that's there. That
I'm one of the people that got the DNA.
And let me say, that does not mean that the overwhelming majority of the folks that are of African descent that are here actually did not come from Africa, right? Most of us came from the continent and intermarried with a Native American group.
Right.
Now, I want to say that this does not say that there were not early journeys of people of African descent directly from the continent to the Americas. And I know that there's some folks that are on your platform that really argue against that really, really vociferously. But I want to say that there is enough information for us to posit that those journeys likely occurred. That we don't have the kind of definitive study to be able to show you, for example, writing forms and other things. But I want to be clear that we should understand that Africans made journeys. Now, that doesn't mean that they made so many journeys that those people who had left Africa earlier and traveled all throughout Europe, throughout Asia, and came into the Americas were supplanted by those Africans that came to make journeys later. That's not what we're saying. Those journeys were likely smaller than the groups of people that were already here. But I want to also go back to Baba Kaba's original comment. This is something that I've been saying to my students for many years. If there are people anywhere on the planet, it is because Africans went there. And we have to understand that we can definitively say very clearly that all of humanity, regardless of what landmass you're on, regardless of what language you speak, regardless of what religion you are part of, or whether you have no religion, no spiritual form, all of those people have their origin in the continent.
How much time you got, Jabari? You got about a half an hour?
I can stay for a little bit, yeah.
Okay, family, if y'all have any questions, you can call in, ask Jabari, ask Nepal Shada. Nepal got her native look on tonight, y'all, because she know we was going to deal with this. So Nepal got some native in her too. I met Mama. Mama is definitely, you could definitely see the Native American there. You
well,
know?
you got to do the DNA studies to see, because
Right.
sometimes we look at some things and we think it's native and it's something else.
Did
No, my
you ever
mom
take your
had her
DNA?
results, and she
Nepal,
was,
did you take your DNA testing yet?
I have not. My sister took it. We have the same father and the same mother, and then my mom took her DNA test. She was very excited to confirm her Native American roots, but then she was confused about some Dominican and some Ethiopian in there. She was still trying to attribute it to all Native. It was weird.
Wow. That
All
happens.
right. Peace and Black Power, family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Uncle Ma.
All right. Do you have a question?
I'm from North. No, I just wanna talk about what Baba Kaba and Brother Jabari was saying.
Go ahead.
I think we need to start understanding that the consensus for African or humanity starts in Africa, and we all need to look towards Africa for the growth of humanity. That's it.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. You was going to say something, Jabari.
Yeah, while Baba Kaba was talking, I was looking at some of the comments in the chat room from some folks who we might consider part of the Aboriginal community. One person says the oldest African remains are in the United States. That is absolutely, definitively not true. What we have seen at a place called the Topper site is that there may be remains of Africans that came much earlier than previously believed, but not earlier than we see Homo sapiens sapien emerge on the continent of Africa. It is believed that those remains are of Homo sapiens sapien. So the only thing that we could think is that they made journeys from the continent of Africa. So the person that said that, please, I want to be clear that sometimes people get a little bit of information, sometimes misrepresented by people who have some really bizarre agendas, and they end up coming up with some really, really strange things. So we're talking about the site in South Carolina called the Topper site. It's in Allendale County, and it seems to prove that humans came to the Americas earlier than we thought. That doesn't mean that they remained here. It doesn't mean that those groups of people survived. But there's much more study that needs to be done, but not earlier than Africa. Please, let's get past those comments.
All right. Murphy Holmes, can you tell us, what do you mean by we always talking? I need to be clear on what you're saying. You can always call it in and let us know what you're talking about.
I'd like to ask Brother Jabari.
Brother Nate from Baltimore.
All right. What's going on, Nate? Oh, hold on, y'all.
Press 2.
Peace and Black Power. What's going on, Nate? Talk to us.
Hey, peace, everyone. Peace. So yes, I had a question. Hey, Brother Jabari. This is Nathaniel Johnson from Baltimore at the Radisson Hotel.
Oh wow, peace, brother. Peace.
Okay. So yes, my question is because I'm trying to get an understanding that what Brother Kaba was saying, that far as we are all, it's just a human race. We are all the same people, but through amalgamation is the word, where different climates and where, the skin change and different locations and all of that, where different cultures come into play. Now, as far as what you're saying is that, or am I clear to understand that what you're saying is that as far as the European is a whole different race of people, and they are not as far as a difference of the black man?
No, actually, and this is a tough thing to acknowledge because Europeans and European society has done some really horrible things to the African and other people on the planet. But we have to recognize that the Europeans are our children. Right? They come up out of the continent of Africa and change phenotypically. They change the way that they look based on the climate that they experienced. And so that is what occurred. The Europeans, by the way, it's the thing that in my book, 7 Little White Lies, I describe how even the term Caucasian is a racist term, because it was developed by Johann Friedrich Blumenbach to say that they had a pristine, separate origin. when in actuality, Europeans come from Africa. He had all of these skulls. He had one of a woman that was in the modern day country of Georgia. He thought it was symmetrical. He said this proves that the European is the primary human being, the original human being, and that the African and the Oriental, as he said, devolved from the European. That is nothing more than racist claptrap.
The European is a light-skinned African, Jabari.
That they've come out of Africa. Now, we're not talking about culture. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about group dynamics and the challenges that certain groups have had with each other. We're talking about the origin of our lineage. And we know now that every person on the planet is the offspring of one African woman.
That's right.
Of one, what kind of woman was that? Can you imagine? I can't even deal with my own mother, Queen Napa. My mother she walked down the neighborhood, tell young men what to do, tell people, I mean, she's the elder, right? So they all respect her. Can you imagine what that woman must have been like?
Wow.
Wow. So yeah, I think that's fascinating. Brother Nathaniel, I need to get to Baltimore and meet with you, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing you again.
Yes, sir, we will meet up.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you, brother Sean.
Right.
Yes, thank you so much.
Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I wanted to ask Jabari something really quickly.
Go ahead,
have you seen or heard any information like I have? I don't know how accurate it is. The Hopi Indians with the very, very strong Kemetic ties in their culture. I'm in Arizona, so it's more obvious. The Hopi are here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
I have not heard about that, and something I'd love to research.
Okay.
I'll say that it's possible that there's some relationship. I can't tell you whether there is or not, but I will say that all of the people who revere the planet and try to live in balance with nature tend to sound a bit similar. It's the youngest people on the planet that think that they can do things that are in complete aversion to natural law. And that is what is really having the entire world careen towards the edge of annihilation. So we have a lot of work to do. We really do. We have a lot of work.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Tahuti, my aunt. Right, serious.
Take me off the speaker, brother. Speak in the phone. So I can hear you clear.
I don't have you on speaker.
Okay, what's up, brother?
Do I sound
Peace,
okay?
brother. Peace
okay,
to
first of all, I want to say, Uncle Mahad, SaNeter, you are the certified godfather of consciousness. And if those of you that don't recognize that, I mean, come on, we all here right now.
Peace to you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, and to your lovely wife, the Pastor Doss, Shalom Queen. We love y'all, and we appreciate SaNeter Studios and Black News 102.
Thank you.
I do have a question for Brother Jabari.
Yes,
I've
brother.
been trying to get a hold of you for a long time, man.
Really?
I'm coming from Wichita, Kansas. Yeah, I'm in Kemetic Ascension every other Sunday.
Wow.
Oh, man, come on, Jabari.
You say Unc and Ma'at, you must be connected to the Kemetic community.
Yeah, I'm definitely connected. I'm not down, but I'm watching, and I really like what you're doing over there, you and your wife. So kudos for that. But I have a question I've been wanting to ask you. All right, so you know how the Hebrew Israelites and Christians really bank a lot of their beliefs on the prophecies that are in Deuteronomy, stuff like that. I was wondering, is there anywhere like in the pyramid text or just somewhere in ancient Kenya where we said those things first, perhaps, or anything like that?
Did you break up?
No. He said anything like that at all.
Yes. This is the thing. I truly believe that when you have been on the planet for a long period of time, you don't necessarily speak in prophecy. What you do is you recognize cycles. Because if you've been here long enough, you know that history never repeats itself, but as a great elder said, it does play the same tune, right? So there are similarities in history. And so if you've been monitoring history and the development of humans for a long time, you end up seeing similar cycles, similarities in what occurs. So in the Kemetic text, we don't tend to see what I would call prophecies, but we do see descriptions of things that have occurred, will occur, and will continue to occur. And that is, I think, where we get so much of our understanding. Now, some of those things have been represented in the Hebrew and Christian tradition and have been called prophecy, but I want to say that I don't necessarily describe it that way, because I truly believe that if you become a student of history, a student of humanity, a student of the very nature of the universe, you're going to be able to dictate what will happen in a given period based on what you can see in the cycles of the universe. So that's the way I would describe it. And you have to understand the Kemetic people viewed cycles because they had been studying the stars, the heavens, for probably more than tens of thousands of years, right? And if you look at it that long, you get a sense that things will eventually recycle. They had an understanding of what's called the Great Year, that year that is nearly 26,000 years, right? When all of the stars in the sky actually reset. Because you know that all of the constellations from our vantage point on the earth are actually not exactly in the same point in the sky from our vantage point on earth. And it takes 26,000 years for all of those constellations to go back to where they were at the beginning. So this is actually fascinating to me. And it is really one of those powerful things that we need to study. So that's the way I would describe it, brother. That's definitely the way I would describe it.
Powerful,
Thank you,
powerful.
brother.
Also, thank you so much. I appreciate the chance to talk to you. Have a good one.
Thank you, brother.
Actually, actually I do. Okay, so that 26,000 years. Okay, so I've been doing some study on that. You know, I've been listening to a lot of Bobby Hemmett. You know, he talks about that. I love Bobby Hemmett. I mean, I've learned so much from him. First of all, just hats off to him. Now he says this is when, you know, everything is supposed to change. The bottom goes to the top and the top goes to the bottom. This can be something that is talking about us, how we've been down for so long, and now it's time for us to come back up, back to where we belong. You know, so I'm looking out for that. I feel like that's happening.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's right, brother. That's right.
All right. Peace.
And I see that there's someone that says, did Kemet teach evolution? I don't think that they would have described it as evolution. I think that the Kemetic people tended to argue that the world was created in a certain way and that all things are one. I don't think that what they taught was in opposition of evolution. They would have seen this as the process of the development of how we got to where we are and where we are. But I don't think that they would have described it exactly.
Right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah.
Peace. This is Mooney Soup.
All right. What's happening, brother?
Peace, peace. I got a big question, man. I think that, you know, what you said about the white people being Africans, I disagree with it. When we go into Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, we see them relative to them. It was different type of species if you go into the Homo erectus and then you go into the Negroid and then they break it down. We're not the same people at all. So them being African people, I strongly disagree.
Well, here's part of what happens, and I know that there are some that argue something different. I don't agree with their position, but let me lay out my position a bit, right? We see other early ancestors of Homo sapiens sapien, which we are, right? We're Homo sapiens sapien.
Yeah.
Some of those developed entirely on the continent of Africa. This is what Baba Kaba was describing. Some of them left the continent of Africa, and some of them had their development outside of Africa. At least that's what we understand now. So, for example, the Neanderthal is considered to have developed outside of Africa. But if you think about it, it's almost like we're discussing snapshots rather than the entire movie. right? Because the Neanderthal comes from an earlier version of humanity, which came from Africa. So when you actually
I got to
hold on, brother. Let him finish.
And we also have to recognize that as we look at the stream of humanity, most of even European DNA is Homo sapien DNA, which came from the continent of Africa. There's a small segment of Neanderthal DNA, but all of these early forms had their origin in Africa, and they branch out, developing further. So it depends on what period of time you're going to look at.
All right, now, brother, I see we are so quick to disagree. I can give you the link, and you can come up in here and you can show us.
I don't need a link.
No, listen. We're not going to believe you, brother. So you're going to have to show us with some sources, because you're quick to say no.
Definitely
so that's why I said I could send you the link. Listen to me, brother. I could send you the link. You could come up in here and source up and show us where Europeans come from. Simple.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, here's the link in the chat. The link is in the chat. What's your name? What's your YouTube name?
My YouTube name YSL Fireboy.
Okay, the link is in the chat. Come on in here, and like you said, man, I mean, shit, come teach us something. Teach, brother.
All right.
All right.
Call from.
That's how we're gonna start doing this, Jabari. People gotta come in and source up. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Walter Williams from Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, it sounds like Dr. Walter Williams.
Yes.
Yes, how you doing, Walter?
Oh, peace, Dr. Williams.
Yes, it sounds like Walter Williams.
This is Walter Williams.
Okay, how you doing, sir? You remember doing the show with me?
I remember doing several shows with you, but you never called me anymore after that.
Hey, Walter, I lost your number. Sir, and I'm definitely calling you back. Is this the brother that wrote the book about the Christianity, right?
That's correct.
That's right. Okay. All right. Good to hear from you, Walter Williams.
SaNeter, when you get his number, you know you got to share it with me, right?
Yes, sir. You already know.
Don't keep it to yourself.
Well, it sounds like him because, you know, you got a lot of people that come up in here and play games, but this sounds like Professor Walter Williams.
I'm trying to look for his books. I'm able to hear you, but I'm going to pull it so you can see it on the screen.
Yes, sir. Professor Walter Williams, how can we help you? Talk about it.
Okay. What was that last thing you said, Brother SaNeter?
We were saying, come on in and source up and show us where Europeans come from, where they come from.
Where Europeans came from?
Yes.
No humans give you that answer.
Say it again.
No human on earth can give you that answer. The reason being that no human on earth can tell you how they got here as a human being. No human can tell you that.
Yeah, it's Professor Walter Williams. This is Walter. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, they go to the book. What is it again, Jabari? The Historical Origins of Christianity. That's right.
And the Historical Origin of Islam. Those are my two books.
Jabari, maybe you want to build with him right now on this. Go ahead, Jabari. Hebrew, all of that. Jabari,
I want to talk to him separately. I'm writing a book on a similar topic, so I definitely want to have access to him. Yeah. So, Dr. Williams, can I ask you this question?
Sure.
How do you feel about DNA studies? Because you know that several groups of people have done, they've mapped the human genome now. They've actually been able to look at large numbers of, for example, even placentas from humans all over the planet. And as they trace mitochondrial DNA, they're tracing it all the way back to Africa. What are your thoughts on that research?
Well, DNA is a personal research for the individual human being. That's personal. Now, I noticed one thing, that when they trace a DNA of an African person coming from America, or just an African person, period, they never trace you back to the ancient Egyptians, the world's first and oldest civilized people on planet Earth. They won't do that. So therefore, I don't have any. I don't have no. I have no respect for the DNA research because of what I just stated. But for the individual person, if they're satisfied with that, fine. But I noticed that they never trace us as an African people back to ancient Egypt or the ancient Egyptians.
I think that you might be talking about two different. I mean, there's the study of the haplogroups, right? But we're talking about lineage on mitochondrial lines, and so that's a little bit different. I agree with you not saying that they never see anyone trace back to certain parts of the world, but the reality is that it's a part of the study in terms of the haplogroup study, the study of exactly the exact groups of people that we might consider ethnic groups is a study that is only as good as the samples that they receive. But looking at mitochondrial DNA, you can actually look at how long different groups of people diverge from other people by looking at the whole genome. They're both DNA studies, but there's sort of two different takes on how DNA is used.
Well, again, that's speculative, in my opinion. I mean, the question still has to be asked, and the question has to be explained if an individual can do that, but which they can't. How did individual human beings get here on planet Earth as human beings to have that type of DNA, et cetera, et cetera? You see? So if you can't tell me how you got here as a human being, which no human beings can tell you that of any race, creed, or color, you got 8 billion humans walking this earth of all races, creeds, and colors. No human on earth can tell you how they individually got here on planet Earth as a human being. So therefore, what's out there now, including this subject, it's only something that's based off of speculation and one's opinion, in my opinion. So that's how I see it.
Let me ask you, Dr. Walter Williams, what is your stance or what is your take on the Exodus? Do you believe in the Exodus story?
Of course not. Anything that's related to the Bible is based off of mythology and not human history. Now, there was an article that came out in the Chicago Sun-Times in the year 1999 in the Metro section of the Chicago Sun-Times. It said this: little known fact about Egypt. It says that even though scholars have searched for over 100 years, they cannot find any evidence of a Moses ever being in Egypt. Number two, they said that they cannot find any plagues that came against Egypt. Number three, they said that they cannot find any evidence of the Exodus occurring in Egypt. Number four, they said that slaves did not build the pyramid because slavery was not being used or had not been used in Egypt or any place in the Middle East or Northeast Africa. Middle East is a political name applied to that area by the British after World War I. So, no, I don't believe in the Exodus. I never did. So therefore, if there's no Moses ever being in Egypt, the story about Moses being put in a basket by his mother and thrown down the Nile River, the basket was retrieved by the Pharaoh's daughter and Moses was raised in the house of the Pharaoh, all that story, that's a lie. You see? And then the man-made religion called Judaism was supposed to have been created by Moses. So therefore, if there's no Moses, then Judaism as a religion collapsed. Over with. And you go with the same story about the Passover that the so-called Jews practice every year around Easter time, etc., etc. So that makes, if there's no Exodus, no Moses in Egypt, no 10 plagues being brought against Egypt, then that makes the Passover also collapse. You see? So therefore, you got to remember this now. Let's take the story and use your analytical mind about the so-called Exodus. And then you got to remember now, the story goes that the Jews or Hebrews were running towards the Red Sea. And the Pharaoh and his army was pulled on chariots, pulled by horses. Now, horses have 4 legs. Humans only have 2. So therefore, how you mean tell me the Pharaoh's army couldn't catch the people the characters running on by foot? They couldn't catch up with them before they got to the Red Sea. Now, and then the story goes that the water, the Red Sea rolled back. That meant that the water was suspended in air with all the fish and whatever sea creatures in the Red Sea had to be suspended in air. So, and then that allowed the Jews to go across to the other side on dry land. And when the Pharaoh's army came, here come all the water coming down on Pharaoh's army and drowned Pharaoh's army. Okay? Now that, if you use your analytical mind and think, that's not practical. Now, the next thing on that thought is this. It was all the water out of the Red Sea came up to allow these Hebrews, the Jews, to cross on dry land. How deep is the Red Sea? Okay? A sea that's going to carry a body of water, and with all the species that's in that sea, how deep is that sea before you get to dry land? I would suspect that is hundreds of feet down. In other words, you got to go maybe over 1,000 or more feet, maybe more than that. Okay, but now, how did these so-called Hebrews get down there? Did they jump down?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did they throw their babies down there? Then you walk across to get on the other side to dry land. How did they get up all those hundreds of feet high to get to the dry land, to the promised land? How did they do that? See? You got to think about that, all that. Now, another thing I want to bring up about this so-called Exodus and Jews running to the Red Sea and so forth and so on. The Red Sea is not east or of Egypt or across of Egypt. It's the Suez Canal. Okay, it's there. Where is Egypt? Where's the Red Sea? The Red Sea is in Central East South Africa. Central East Africa. Okay? Now, meaning that puts you around Ethiopia. Ethiopia, next to Ethiopia is the Red Sea. Okay? Now, the thing about it, Egypt is nowhere near the Red Sea. Okay? So you got to think about that. See, so
That's some good points, Brother Jabari. Those are all excellent points.
There are lots, and many more. One of the ones that most biblical scholars do, Dr. Williams, is they even just look at the time frames that are described in the Bible, and they recognize that the time frames don't fit whatsoever. It's a real conundrum. The overwhelming majority of biblical scholars today do not argue that any of the journeys of Abraham, the Exodus, the wilderness wanderings, they don't think any of that is a historical story. I have my research is replete with the quotes of biblical scholars, not African scholars or not with things that folks like me are arguing, but the folks that study the Bible say this could not have occurred. One great scholar is known to say that the story of the Exodus is like the story of finding unicorns. So this is really a challenge, and we have a lot of work to do. It's a matter of faith, not a matter of history.
All right, hey Jabari, Queen Nepal have a question before he leaves.
Yes.
Go ahead, Queen Nepal.
Yes, thank you so much, brothers. Thank you, Dr. Williams. I'm very excited to ask you two quick questions, seeing what you've written and what you've researched for decades. I have been asking the question of the origin of, well, the first question is, what do you know, or what can you tell us about blood sacrifice being so much of the foundation of Christianity and the Torah, the Judaism? Why is blood sacrifice so, I guess I could say, integral to that particular worship? I'll ask you that first. What have you seen from that, the sacrifice?
Well, I really didn't hear all of the question. So could you repeat that question so I can have a clear understanding of what you're saying, what you're asking me?
Christianity being Jesus being sacrificed. He's a blood sacrifice. And looking throughout the history from Christianity to Judaism to the Torah, why is that such a major part of the worship? The sacrifice of blood, especially, the firstborn son. Why is that such a part of worship with the religion?
Well, see, you got to understand this. That Christianity that is practiced today, I'll repeat that again, Christianity that is practiced today is European Christianity, not how this Serapis was transformed into the Christ at Ephesus 431. So when Christianity was moved, the seed of Christianity was moved out of Northeast Africa, that they call the Middle East, into Europe. John the 8th in 1439, when he transferred the seed by relinquishing what is known as the Dominican Constantine, that paved the way for the religion called Christianity to be moved Europe, which is where it's at right now. And when that happened, I'm trying to cut through the chase. When that happened, the Europeans changed Christianity in order for the world not to know how Christianity actually came into being. So therefore, the world today is getting what I call Western European Christianity. Okay? Now, when that happened, and they changed all of that, and the seed of Christianity fell into the hands of 12 humanist individuals, when the seat was relinquished by John the 8th in 1439 at the Curia in Florence, Italy, and the Curia in Ferrara, Italy. So you had 6 men from each Curia. The word C-U-R-I-A means college. So therefore, from 6 of those colleges, this is during the very beginning of the European Renaissance era, that seat was moved into Europe after these 12 humanists asked the authorities in Rome to allot them land area in and around Rome, or out in which they got land from the authorities in Rome for land on the outskirts of Rome, where it's at today near the catacombs. You see, so the seat moved there, and once that seat moved there, then that was establishment of what is known today as the Roman Catholic Church. Now, from that Roman Catholic Church, like I said before, they want to erase any resemblance of a Christianity, the religion called Christianity that was created there in at the Council of Ephesus in 431 in Northeast Africa. Now, when that happened, they changed this Christ's image. I mean, by way of putting storage to that Christ image and so forth and so on. So that's the day. Again, I said that you're not getting the full understanding or the full creation of how Christianity began. You're only getting a European version, their version of it. So, does that answer your question?
You gave me a lot of information to look into. I do know that you speak about the son sacrifice. So I've just been very intrigued with the basis of a religion that is supposed to be peace, but there's a great part of blood sacrifice and violence. So I appreciate you and taking the time to give me that information. And I'm just going to go further looking into it. So thank you so much.
What I'm trying to say to you, that this blood sacrifice started with the Roman Catholic Church.
Right. Okay.
That has nothing to do with the historical origin of Christianity. So when the seat moved into Europe, they had complete control of Christianity. They could do whatever they want to do with it, which they have done. You see? So
I see.
When that seat moved into Europe, they even changed the Christ became the son of Zeus. You see? So they even changed that. Before at Ephesus, this Christ was the son of Osiris or Osar. You see? So they changed all of that. You see? So when it went to Europe, it was changed to what you see today. So that's how the way I can explain it to you. I'm going into a whole lot of other details and information that I don't have the time.
So it was the Hellenization. It was the Hellenization that sparked the whole blood, like Dionysus and Bacchus. It's the Hellenization of Christianity, Dr. Williams.
Was the Hellenization of Christianity?
When you said it was taken over by the Europeans, the Greeks, and the Romans, or
No, I didn't say that. Now, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say the Greeks. It was taken over by these 12 humanists in Italy, Italians.
Okay.
You see, the Greeks had nothing to do with it. You see,
okay.
So the image that you
was that during the 15th century when the church there was a schism between the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church during the Renaissance, right? The Renaissance?
Yes, you see, that's what I'm saying. During the Renaissance era, all this changed. You see, so now the Protestant movement started in 1517 with Martin Luther.
Okay.
That was that Martin Luther was financed by capitalists. You see, the capitalist Johannes Fuss, F-U-S-T. He financed Martin Luther to break up that one power over a religion called Christianity that is now in Europe. They didn't want that one institution called the Roman Catholic Church to have all that power over religion called Christianity, because that was the only religion that was in Europe at that time. Okay? So Martin Luther was financed by this capitalist Johann Spuss to break up that power that the Roman Catholic Church had at that time. So that's the reason why in 1517 he came out with the Protestant movement against the Roman Catholic Church. And that's what happened, as you see today. Any church body or any churches out here today that is called a Christian, you can have a church today because of Martin Luther formed this protest movement in 1517.
Wow. You know, that makes sense. Real quick, that makes sense. One more thing, because I've always seen that the Renaissance aligns with the Reformation. So thank you for confirming that. That's when the humanism came in and all of that. So thank you so much, Dr. Williams. You gave me so many gems. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Williams, I definitely will give you a call tomorrow. We got to set something up. Brother Jabari, do you have any more questions for Dr. Williams?
I would like to talk to Dr. Williams offline because I want him to.
I'll give you the
absolutely, because I want to talk to him about the book I'm writing.
Yes,
which is
Professor Williams. Would it be fair to say that the Hebrew Israelites that we see today, the ones that's dressed up with all the spikes and everything on their arms and the bandanas on their head and on the corner, would it be fair to say that these brothers are nothing but Christians, dressed up Christians in curious clothing?
Well, that's how they are. They go here. You got to find out the history, the historical origin of Black Hebrew Israelitism. You see, there's a history attached to that. Now, you got to go back in history. See, history is very good as a rule of thumb to find out and get information from. You got to have human history. But now, let's go back. In 1860, when the AIU, the Alliance Israelite Universal or Parish Friends, created a movement. That movement that they created was taken to use the Bible now. They used the Bible to say that they were the Jews of the Bible. The AIU, Alliance Israelite Universal Parish Friends, 1860 did just that. They said, we are the Jews of the Bible. That was in 1860. Okay? Now, 8 years later, here comes the Pentecostal holiness movement that was formulated in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1868. You see, that's where here comes your Black Hebrew Israelites now. See, from that Pentecostal holiness movement in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1868. Okay, 8 years after the white so-called Jews came about, saying that they were the Jews of the Bible. Okay? Now, so in 1868, this Pentecostal holiness movement was formed in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, at the turn of the 20th century, that movement went to New York, you see? And in New York, the New Yorkers, brothers and sisters, said that they were the Black Hebrew Israelites. They added something different to it. You see, they were added Black Hebrews, and they said that they were the Black Hebrew Israelites. Then that movement went from New York into Chicago. And in Chicago, a man by the name of Ben Carter, known as the enemy, on this group that went into the illegal state of Israel back in the 60s.
Drop that history right there.
Yeah, you got to know the history of what subjects you're talking about. Other than that, you don't have that. If you don't have that history, you have no foundation for what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I hope you're learning, Jabari. I hope you're learning, brother. Hey, we ain't gonna hold you too long, Dr. Walter Williams. I'm gonna definitely give you a call and see when can we find some time so that I can give you your own show. And I think I would love that topic right there, the origin of the Hebrew Israelites and Christianity, whatever.
There are probably a few shows you could do with him, SaNeter.
Say that again?
There are probably a few shows you could do. We'll talk about some of the topics that you
Yes. So in closing, Dr. Walter Williams, what you got for us in closing?
Well, I have these words to say to you in closing. We have to stay strong as African people. We're going to have to find our way back to ancient Egypt and claim our greatness, which is lying unclaimed in the continent of Africa. Been there for hundreds of years. And so we're going to have to claim our ancestors as being ancient Egyptians and not use the word Kemet. Please don't use that word. That's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Why not use Kemet? Why not use Kemet?
Can you find Kemet on the world map today?
He's making a strategic.
So what words should we use? Leave him alone, Jabari. Leave him alone.
No. I understand what he's trying to do. I don't agree with it, but I understand what he's doing.
Okay.
He's saying, why would you describe your lineage to a country that we can't find? That's what he's saying.
Oh.
I get strategically, he's saying claim a land that exists. That's what he's saying. I get it. I get what he's saying.
You could claim a land that exists, and you claim the people living in the world today. Like I mentioned before, you have 8 billion humans of all races, creeds, and colors walking this earth as human beings. They recognize Egypt. They don't know the world don't know about no damn Kemet.
Yes, sir. I got you. I hear what you're saying too now.
Strategy. That's what he's talking about.
Yes. I got him. Yeah. We got him.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, it's been a pleasure. We love you all. Walter, stay strong. And I'm going to give you a call tomorrow in the afternoon. And we got to definitely set something up.
Share his number.
I remember the last time me and Brother Shabazz brought you in. We brought you into LIU and Brooklyn College. Do you remember that?
Was that your grandman? I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me and Brother Shabazz. Yeah.
Okay.
LIU. Uh-huh. I was always in the background. I'm in the background.
Brother Shabazz. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I didn't know that you was involved in it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got the filming and all of that.
Okay.
All right. Yes. All right. So thank you, brother.
Dr. Williams, I'll be in Chicago in the end of May, the Memorial Day weekend. I will reach out to you. I would love to take you to dinner or to just get to meet you. I've read your book at least twice. And so I'd really like to meet you.
Yes, the family in the building is saying hi to you. Stay strong. They can't wait till you come in.
Okay. Now, you know my wife passed.
Oh, no, sorry to hear that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I'm 90 years old now.
Oh, wow. And you're still talking good, man. Beautiful, brother.
Bless you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
So what I'm saying, I don't get around like I used to.
Yeah.
So anyway, when you're in Chicago, give me a call.
Yes, sir.
And you can maybe come by my house or something like that. You know?
Oh man, I would love to. I would love to. Yes, I would love to, brother.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Williams, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Williams.
Hey, yo, you know, Nepal, how powerful that would be.
Wait,
hold on, Jabari. Hold on, Jabari.
I'm saying this
because I got Dr. Ben.
He got Dr. Williams calling him on his channel.
Wow.
You gotta stop for a second and realize what just happened. I mean, it's like, what? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
SaNeter.
No, but Dr. Williams know me. So when he seen it, he said, oh, They go, SaNeter, he ain't called me in so long. Let me call in. You see, he got at me. You see, he got at me. He said, "Yeah, after we did our show, you ain't called me no more." I lost contact.
Yeah.
I lost contact.
I remember you lost your phone because you and I had to be connected. But we actually, maybe you should come to Chicago when we're in Chicago.
Now y'all say, now you see why they say I'm the godfather of the conscious community, man. Now do you see why? Come on, duh.
Come on, give him his
wait a minute. I know that. The question is, do you know it?
Yes,
do you know it?
Of course.
That's right. He's so humble, Jabari.
Some of the stuff you get involved in, some of the stuff you get involved in, I have to say, does the elephant recognize the ants?
I know, right?
Come on now.
Yeah, you're right. But see, as a brother, Jabari, you're supposed to hit me up immediately and say, "Yo, SaNeter, stop it, man. Cut it out." And you know, you're my brother.
You know we've had those conversations.
No, you never call me in the heat of the moment. You wait until everything is done and said.
No. I will shoot you. You rarely respond to my text. I will shoot you a text and say, "What is going on?" That's what I'll do. Because some of this stuff, SaNeter, is beneath you. You have an international platform. He talks about Ghana, people from Ghana call. He talks about Nigeria, people from Nigeria call. He talks about another topic. He has elders that no one has spoken to. Dr.
Nepal. You know how great. Hold on. You know how great this would be to be in the home of Walter Williams, to get that powerful interview.
Yeah.
Get that powerful interview.
Anika and I are going to be lecturing and leading a tour of the Orient Institute in Chicago the last weekend in May. We're going to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You don't have to come for the whole thing if it's too much, but we're going to be there from the 27th to the 30th.
I got to go get him.
Come for it, and then we'll go and spend some time with Dr.
Because we got to get our brother last words before our brother move on to the ancestors.
He's 90. We thought he must have been 80. He's 90.
Yeah, I said he was 80. I said he's about 80 in there.
Well, we don't want to say they're his last words.
Though. No. I'm saying before,
I hear you,
because I wasn't able to get Dr. John Henry Clark.
Wow.
And that right there, I regret that right there, man. You know, but fortunately, my brother Dr. Reggie was bringing Dr. Ben to me. He brought Dr. Ben to my SaNeter Awards. He brought him to the debates, and I was able. And then, fortunately, I was able to go on my own to Dr. Ben to go and drive and see him. I remember taking my twins, Africa and Asante, when they was babies.
Yeah.
And he was in my car, and we drove them to go get something to eat. We took them out of the home and drove them something. And guess what? You better be respectful talking to Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben don't give a damn. He'll put you in check.
Yeah.
If you say, "No, I don't want you eating that right there," Dr. Ben, he'll look at you like, "What? What are you talking about? You don't want me eating what? What?"
Listen, I used to go visit him in the nursing home regularly too. I never took him out of the nursing home, but I would always go visit him too. And he would say, "You didn't bring no sorrel for me?" I was like, "Oh man." I was like, "Dr. Ben, is too much sugar." He said, "I'm so old, just give me the sorrel." I said, "Okay." I would bring him stuff from
That's
home.
right, yeah.
You know, and that was really important. I do remember going to do a presentation at ASCAC in DC, and I saw Reggie rolling Dr. Ben to ASCAC. That was one of the last ASCACs that Reggie went to. And Dr. Ben was a lot of fun. I'm gonna tell you, Reggie, Dr. Ben was so particular. Poor Reggie looked like Dr. Ben beat him up, but it was all love. I mean, that was the kind of love that he had for him, that he would actually take him out and drive him from New York City all the way to DC.
Let me get this last caller. Peace and back power. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, brother SaNeter? This your boy Jay from the chat, man. Another brother from Chicago.
All right, what's going on, brother?
It's a great show, man. It's like one of the best shows I've seen you do in a while. I tune into you all the time. Hey, I just got a quick question.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, brother Jabari, my man? You my man, bro.
Peace, brother.
One love, dude. Hey, check it out, guys. One question for you, Jabari.
Yes.
Or Nepal or SaNeter. Either one of y'all. It's a lot of debates going on around the Anunnaki. So I want to know, because I believe in ancient Egypt. I believe in ancient Kemet, the ancestors, Osiris, Heru, and all that stuff. And I just want to know, is the Anunnaki, were they real? Like, is them stories real, or is that just pseudo? Because if Osiris' story is real, I believe the Anunnaki story could be real. I just want y'all
I
intake
would
on
say
that.
pseudo. I see what they say. My vote is pseudo. What you say, Jabari and Nepal?
Well, I wouldn't call it pseudo. I think that what has happened is that one of the things that unfortunately that has occurred is that based on what happened when Europeans, particularly when the Roman Empire took control of Christianity, they started to argue that all of those traditions were literal and historical. I don't think that those ancient people would have described it historically, nor would the Kemetic people describe their tradition historically. Remember, everyone that makes their transition in balance at the end of their life becomes a Sar. So how can we all be a Sar if a Sar is one literal person? So I think that the problem of literalism is one of the things that Europeans brought into our thinking when they took control of the planet, and we ought to root it out. Now, let me say about the Anunnaki stories, some of the stories that we see are not even the ancient stories. There's one European scholar that tried to argue a lot. What was his name? Stitchin, I think.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, about the Anunnakis. The stuff that he was talking about is much of it is not found in the ancient text at all. So I just would say, listen, be cautious about what you're reading. Make sure you can source what you're reading, but recognize that when we look at at ancient Sumer, we're looking at an African society. When we look at ancient Kemet, we're looking at an African society. I wouldn't pit them against each other. I would simply say recognize that we're looking at stories that tell us about the nature of the universe, not about simply what happened at one time in history.
What do you say, Nepal?
I agree with Jabari on a lot of points. I do want to say this. I had asked Baba Kaba Hiawatha about an evolved Homo sapien. So I believe that a lot of those stories are tied into a super group of people. I believe there is a super group of people. There always have been. We talk about the Nagas, that they say the serpent god people. And perhaps, I mean, even if you look at the abilities of us today as melaninated people, we have this, we're admired and revered, and there's things that we do, and they say, how does this person run this fast? How does this person's brain work, do this math so well? I'm talking about Africans. So I believe that a lot of those stories, trying to conceptualize God, trying to understand why there's this great group of people, they tied it into, they must have been, fallen angels. No human can do this. So it must be that. And why are they so big? Oh, they must be superhuman. So, I mean, when I hear about the Anunnaki, I don't believe that there are fallen angels. I don't believe that. I believe that it was a way for us to understand these supernatural abilities of certain groups of people, certain groups of humans. And I mean supernatural, meaning physically supernatural and also metaphysical. So that's my answer.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you soon.
Man,
all right. Hey, brother Jabari.
Yes.
I would like to see finishing touches on that discussion you and Nepal had, man. I would like to see that. I think you was running, brother.
Which one? Which discussion?
You remember Nepal? Remind him, please.
Which one? That was 2020.
We've talked about a lot of stuff on that.
I think it would be good to talk to you about the blood sacrifice. I'm really stuck on that. Because with you, Jabari, I really respect your information. I so-called get underneath it.
Right.
Because it makes sense when you really look at it. I mean, there are little things that we didn't agree on, like about the way to describe bonded labor that's not anything that I want to keep discussing. I do want to know more about blood sacrifice in Kemet. So if you could sit with me and talk to me about that. I'm on this blood sacrifice thing because it's so fascinating that humans, not just Hebrews or Christians, that we found that giving the blood of a creature is divine. So what is that? Talk to me about that in Kemet.
No, we ain't talking now. We're gonna set that up.
Yeah, well,
we certainly can. And I think that we should definitely talk about it. Sacrifices occurred, right? I mean, mostly of animals. And I'm going to say to you, as for someone that's been a vegetarian for nearly 30 years, I still get a little squeamish with animal sacrifice. But I know that when I'm in Ghana and I see sacrifices of animals, they don't just kill an animal and they just throw it on the side of the road. They eat the animal afterwards. And to some degree, I say that's a higher use, a higher respect for that animal than just buying your chicken nuggets at the corner store, right?
Right.
Because you've recognized the sacredness of this animal.
Right.
You've said thank you, and then you eat it, right? That's different. Now, the reason why I have an issue is because I'm not eating the animal. I always say to them, can you sacrifice some mangoes for me? And then
no, it has to be the blood. You know, that's a good point.
And they laugh at me, but I'm going to convince them that if I'm not eating it, I'm not going to waste.
You know what?
Exactly.
You know what?
I'd love to talk to you
I'm going to say this live. I was going to say it to you in private, Nepal, but I'm going to say this to you, Nepal. And there's nothing to feel embarrassed about. It's just going to show you and show the world how you have evolved. I see you slowly developing and evolving into a higher realm of knowledge. I see you slowly. I'm saying, hey, it ain't nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed about.
I'm not embarrassed, but
you can keep your Yahweh, you can believe Yahweh. I'm not telling you not to, but I see you slowly developing into a higher teacher, and I applaud you for that. You learning more. Why are you saying no?
Because you're not being fair. I've been
all right. Go ahead.
I've been studying this for decades, and I never vocalize it. And I talked to a sister today. Okay. She aligns with me. Some things you can't say because people will come at you in a very negative way. But for me, I'm just like, I don't care anymore.
What I'm saying,
I'm just gonna say it.
When I first met you, I couldn't tell you nothing about that Bible. We was like this.
You still can't tell me anything about the Bible.
No, listen, I'm talking about we was in battle mode. Now you are saying similar. Hold on.
Man,
now, listen to me for a minute.
Memory is scary.
Now you are saying the things that I've been saying about the Bible, in the Bible, as far as not believing in all of the Bible. Remember that first interview?
No, you don't remember. I've never said I believe. Go look at the interview with Garfield. I said, I don't subscribe to all of this. SaNeter, you're making up this weird memory. I love this man.
Well, I will say this about blood sacrifice. Sisters who are Bible followers, you know, I just want to know whether you have sacrificed your turtle doves every time you end your menses. That some people forget that that's in the book too. Right after the menses, you're supposed to take the turtle doves for sacrifice.
Yeah,
that's in the book. That's in Deuteronomy.
Talk on it.
That's in Deuteronomy, supposedly written by Moses.
Speak your
speech. So some of this is stuff that we're supposed to say is not necessarily our African traditions. And keep in mind that those sacrifices were not eaten. Those are burnt sacrifices. They would burn the body and discard it.
You know, Jabari, me and you are the best when it comes to teaming up. And when we get Apostle in here, we make Apostle tell the truth on the Bible. You see how Apostle came in here and said that the book of laws, the Deuteronomy, is a book of lies.
He said it has lies in it.
Wow.
So that means this is the laws. That means Moses is not real. Moses told lies in the book of Deuteronomy.
He said lies?
Yes, he literally said lies, right, Jabari?
Listen, he did say lies.
I would never say lies.
He said lies. you know, and that is it is just fascinating that sometimes when people do all sorts of, you know, somersaults and gymnastics to get away with what some of the text says,
Right.
they end up getting themselves into difficult positions because of literalism.
Yes.
It's because of literalism, because it has to be what it is. And then when you read what it is, either you didn't understand what it said, or it didn't say what it said, or somebody else wrote that, but then everything else is literal. I mean, we have some real issues with literalism, and the challenge that we have. It is these younger traditions that brought in patriarchy, literalism, and in many ways, their stories were supposed to be rendered as historical, and this is a problem. It's a problem. I want you all now. Listen, when I tell people to read books on this, they ignore me entirely. SaNeter, from the first time I got on your platform, I've been telling people who argue with me to read Jesus Wars.
Right.
Now, one of
Didn't
them
you tell Tazariak to read it?
Oh, come on. Tazariak said he was going to read it. Then he said, "I'm not reading that." I said, "Brother, you said you were going to read it on video." Silence.
All right, yo, you know what, Jabari? I want you to close out. I got to get up early. I'm on the wrong side of the street. You know how this thing is.
Listen,
tickets went up.
You know.
I hear the oh man, Jabari, we ain't talk about the apology that the colleges made.
Yes, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, good. Tomorrow.
But I do want to make sure I let people know two things. First of all, you know that Kaba Kameni and I are going to be in Detroit for the One Africa Conference. I'm hoping your mods have put down the links.
Yes.
It starts Friday. We're going to be Friday and Saturday and Sunday is going to be powerful. You do not want to miss it. And the other thing, if you can let me share this real quick, SaNeter.
Yes.
My class on the African origins of Christianity begins Monday. Now, I know that some people are going to say, I guarantee you, 2 weeks from now, they're going to say, when does it start? The class on the African origins of Christianity begins Monday. I'm going to go through my Savior's model. The book, I have been doing research on this for over 30 years. And for the last 3 years, I've been really preparing to write this book, right? Is going to describe how these 7 tenets, these 7 aspects of Christianity are intrinsic to Christianity, critical to Christianity. If you remove them from Christianity, they would be completely unrecognizable. And each of those 7 aspects don't come from Judaism, don't come from the Hebrew tradition, come from the Kemetic tradition.
Are these going to be recorded classes as well,
Yes,
Jabari?
they are. They're going to all be. They're going to be taught live, so you're not going to just log in and see, you know, a video.
I know what you mean.
They're taught live, which means you'll have an opportunity to talk to me about the text. I'm going to ask you questions about your reading. We're going to also be able to. You're going to have to be able to really interact with me. But each class will be recorded. What does that mean? That means if you're not able to get on Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's say you live on the West Coast, and for you, that's 3 hours earlier, right? What you can do is you can watch the class afterwards. The classes will be posted. You'll get the link, and you can still interact and do all of the work. This is a limited series. I never do a 4-session class, but I've been pushed to do it because, you know, SaNeter, I'm going to tell you that myself, and including some of my my elders, the elder scholars that trained me, were uncomfortable with this topic. We knew this information, but we didn't want to say it publicly because people were uncomfortable. We didn't want to attack people or feel like we were attacking people who we love. Good, decent people in our community. Well, SaNeter, I decided some time ago, if I'm going to get attacked for it anyway, why am I being quiet about the nature of my research?
There you go.
So now this is going to be a book, and you're going to learn this directly.
Real quick. This this is crazy.
Yeah.
Son of Man is saying, how does this help us? Son of Man, you've been walking around. Hold on. You've been walking around with a goddamn Bible for how long, teaching our babies? How in the hell does that help these children out here? You talking about how does some history, knowing history, help us? Brother, stop.
And the number 48.
You Hebrews are crazy, man.
He says the number 48. It's important to know about the number 48. I would
And
ask Brother
84.
Jabari about this class. When you say the 7, are you talking about the 7 virtues in Catholicism? Okay.
No. This is a model that has been constructed by Jabari Osaze.
Oh, okay, awesome.
When I call it the Savior's model, each of those tenets corresponds to a letter in the word Saviors. So, for example, V is virgins. I have seen so many Christian apologists say, Isis, Osset was not a virgin. But you know what's really funny? When they say that to me, you know what I say to them? Have you read this book? Well, no. Have you read this book? No. Have you read this book? No. How can you make the argument you're making if you've never read the Kemetic primaries? You're talking to someone who's read the primary text.
All right, Jabari, let's close out real quick, brother.
Yeah,
that sounds
so I'm hoping that you'll join me, but not only for the One Africa conference this weekend. Go to hoppyfilm.com. SaNeter has his link in the chat. I'm sure his mods have been putting up the link. Please use that link so that people know you're coming from the SaNeter TV studios.
Now, I already done sent a lot of people without using my link, brother.
But you should still, if you're going to send more, use the link. And then the other thing is, I'm hoping that you're going to join the class. It begins Monday. Don't be late. It begins Monday, and I want you to be part of it. Even if you disagree with me, this is the opportunity for you to look at the sources and say, do the sources say what you say, Jabari? This is the opportunity. So I want you to take a look at this. It's going to be amazing. Go to centerformaat.com and register. Go to centerformaat.com and register.
All right, peace, brother Jabari.
Thank you, Brother Jabari.
Tell Dr. Anika she's gonna have to come out of hiding soon, because we got female debaters coming on now, Jabari. This is gonna be a whole ride of the sisters.
Yeah.
I got Sister Mandisa. She's gonna be debating another.
I said the atheist sister.
Yeah, she's an atheist, Jabari. You probably know who she is. She got a huge platform. She got a huge platform. And I would love to put her up against a sister by the name of Nathalie. And before we get any debates, Nepal debate got to be the next one.
I need to take a break from that debate yesterday, even though I wasn't a part of it. It was like oh God, we need to regenerate, rejuvenate.
It's a fascinating.
Think on it, Jabari.
I don't think that Anika is going to enjoy the debating.
No, not a debate. Not a debate. I know Dr. Anika don't debate. I'm talking about more of a build. You know.
Right. Well, listen, I'll make sure that you have access to her. You know, I guarantee you she's watching right now.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Anika, come out of hiding. Come out of hiding, Dr. Anika.
We just need more of the.
Her to come out of hiding is not going to work. What you have to do is
I'm not in hiding.
I know. I'm only joking with her, man.
Yeah, but hear this. When you say that, she's like, "Please, that's not motivating her."
I know.
You could say, Anika, we'd like you to talk about X. When you do that, then maybe she'll consider it. And
yes.
I got you.
I would love to have her come on and do a build, or just do a lecture on what she knows about the feminine divine. We heard it from you, King, but I would love to hear from her. Just talk, because we need that energy. You heard the ignorance of the other night, and I'm not going to speak on it, but just we need that energy. So yes, Dr. Anika.
That part was painful. That part was really painful. I was in the room. I was amazed at some of what I said.
See in the chat room. What is she doing?
Owen is hiding.
Oh, see that?
Jabari ain't even know she was watching.
No, I told you she's in the chat. I told you that. Yeah. I didn't know that she was going to respond. Now listen.
I know, Doctor. You know I'm only joking with you, Doctor.
What we should say to her is, would you come down from your throne and grace our presence?
Also
grace us with your presence.
She's even more busy than she was before. She got a gigantic promotion.
Wow!
Congratulations!
She is one of the folks that is in the leadership of the School of Public Health at SUNY Downstate now. So she's busy. She's busy. But if you ask her to talk about particular topics, she might be interested. Now, you should know that you should come to Chicago with us, because she's giving that lecture she's going to give that lecture for an audience and online. You should come. So that lecture she does on the divine feminine, the feminine principle in ancient
Oh,
Kemet. She's
yes.
doing that lecture in Chicago.
Wow.
I'm doing my African Origins of Civilization lecture in Chicago. It's going to be revamped, different than the one I'm doing for One Africa. And I want you to know that it's going to be amazing. So you should come to Chicago. Well, listen, we're busy. We're doing a lot of stuff. And we'd love for the family to be part of it. You don't have to agree with everything we say. Let's have a good discussion. That's what Baba Kaba was saying. He said, listen, be respectful. Let's have a good conversation.
Right.
And so that's
and with that, Jabari, let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you, brother.
Peace, Brother Jabari.
I'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace, Dr. Nika. Yes, peace. This is awesome. All the great information.
Nepal, I would like for you to take us home, close it out, give us an overall view of the debate yesterday and the things that we got coming up for the sisters. Because Neftali, she was like a little happy that the sisters is coming on board.
Let me tell you, I got to say this publicly. I love all my sisters. Y'all have seen. I love for people to see everything. You've seen the banging, and then you got to see the love. You saw me banging with Sister Wise. She's one of the sisters that I look up to, and you see the love now that I have her. Now, I still gonna iron Christina out a little bit, but she's gonna be okay. Now with Naphtali, I want to say, I have so much respect for this sister. She does great research. Whether I don't agree with a lot that she teaches, but I see the impeccable research, the time she puts into it. She's intelligent. She's a beautiful sister, a mother, a wife, and she is devoted to being going to her higher thought and worshiping. So with that said, I'm excited that she's going to be coming onto SaNeter's platform. I'm going to go to her platform, Lord willing. She's going to come to mine. We're just going to really network with a lot of sisters. I'm very, very excited. I'm hoping, see Dr. Nika still out there in the chat. I'm hoping so much that we can get, that queen to grace us with her lecture and her teaching and what she knows. I just am so happy that SaNeter and I are now on the same page.
I think you should take on Christine. I think the people would love to see you.
I don't really enjoy dragging. I find it to be a necessary thing. I mean, I love her.
Christine, she got to
tell her.
Her ego is like, yo, man.
Thank you.
But
I don't have an ego.
But
ego.
the only one that could shut her down is the HOK champion. And
because I have
you're gonna have to come out. You're gonna have to come out.
I'm not gonna come in to destroy her. I'm taking the scalpel and cutting all of the, because we all teach each other. I'm glad I could say this. When I said you're ugly, I said, and you didn't hear the part where it said, I've been ugly. See, people are like, she's calling her physically. That's a beautiful sister.
They don't understand. You be going over everybody's head. She wasn't talking physically. Y'all.
I never said this woman's looks were ugly. Y'all know what she was doing during the debate. But guess what? I'm going to let you know. I told SaNeter, it's like I am a psychic.
She damn sure did.
I don't want to debate her because she will act wild on the debate. He said, no, I'm going to be. I said, SaNeter, not her. But now I think she learned. Because she saw that the people, Christina, she says, oh, I don't want this clout. Look, anybody who's teaching, we don't have to call it clout. You want your teachings to be heard. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be on the platform and show your strength in what you believe, Christina. However, it backfired on you yesterday because you got a little too in your feelings. The king was way too merciful. You got to have to, she felt a little of the sting when she got put in that back chat. She got humbled a little bit. And then she's, people gave her the critique. And I like at the end when she's like, I'm clapping for her. Did you see? And she said, see, SaNeter, I'm quiet. I'm not doing it. So what I'm saying is I will debate Christina. But at the end of the day, it's not about me destroying her or, me making her look so stupid. It's about her getting to a point where, like Dr. Kaba said, like Baba Kaba Hiawatha said, you don't have to agree with me, but don't try to put me down in my beliefs and disrespect me to make yourself feel better about your beliefs. When I always say this, SaNeter, if you have to beat me up and put me down and say your belief is better than mine, you don't really believe in your beliefs. You don't. You don't really feel confident in what you believe, because if you truly are connected to your God, you're going to feel compassion for me and feel empathy. And you're going to be like, you know, maybe even some pity. You're going to say, I really don't want to hurt this person. I want this person to, you know, really be, and I'm not talking about condescending. I'm just saying you'll be more of a, have more humanity. Now, to SaNeter, I can't leave without saying this. You are really a legend, and you're amazing, and you are very loving. It's tough trying to make everybody happy. And in doing that, you really sacrifice a lot of your happiness and a lot of your pleasure and your peace and comfort. So I appreciate that. And I realize that too, even between us and the way we interact. You know, I'm a reflection of you. So sometimes I gotta you put me like you, like, oh, you don't, I'll put you here, Nepal, and let this person be up here because you understand, because you see me like you. So I'm starting to learn a lot about situations, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you as a legend. You've done all of this. You've gained so much respect. I love the advice that Jabari gave you publicly that I tell you all the time. Don't look at these garbage can channels. Don't look at them. I tell you, SaNeter, nobody better come in here talking about you don't this SaNeter. I tell this man, you're high up here.
All the time you do.
You're a God. I say it. I say, you're a God. Stop coming down to, but then I start to move like you. So anyway, back to the sisters. Naphtali, Christina, Sister Marva, if you're out there, Sister Wise, Sister, you said her name is Andisa, the atheist sister, what's her name? Andisa, I don't want to say it wrong. So Mandisa.
Yeah, I spoke to her today. So yes, she will be taking on Naphtali.
Sister Neo X.
Naphtali know.
How could I forget my sister Pop Lock Queen? When are you going to let her come on and do her presentation, please?
So leave down.
Yeah, Pop Lock Queen. So peace to the sisters out there. Because this platform, the other night when I was sitting on the panel, SaNeter, and it was like, I was talking to all the brothers, like, I want to debate. I don't need to beg for debates. There are sisters out there who will come in, and then these brothers will be, they'll have no choice. They'll have to approach the sisters' information. It doesn't even have to be a debate, but that's how we get it down. That's how we get it in over here. But
hey, let me say this, man. Real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off, man.
No.
I'm getting ready to get out of here. I see my man Tony Real, the God Chronicles. He said, yo, sir, I would love to interview you, brother. What do you say, brother? What I say to that is, no disrespect, but my brother Reggie taught me a lot. People want to interview me. I'm the legend. I'm the godfather of this shit.
There you go.
But ain't nobody talking no economics. I got bills to pay. I got a lot of shit to do. I'm not doing no interview for me for free. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna give nobody this pure interview. Like, see, well, a lot of y'all don't know, but I got some shit already that's in the stash from when I'm no longer on this earth. That's when my shit'll play. See, I'm smart. I'm a chess player.
You got the documentary coming.
Yeah, I'm a chess player. So I don't just give that shit out for free. This shit, what I got telling the story, and I learned that from my brother Reggie. You know, Reggie always told me, yo, brother Saw, man, these niggas don't want to give. And I'm not talking to you, my brother Tony Real. These people just don't want to support. They don't want to support. And Reggie's right. And I started looking at that shit. You know how many times my brother Reggie could have been doing debates and scholarly debates, but the people just don't want to show the love. But then when you look at the gutter platforms, these niggas love the garbage, the trash. And you see how people show love and support for just bullshit. Right. Just the gossip and shit all day.
Well, the thing is about SaNeter, you're very personable. You are very, this is what I tell him, SaNeter, stop being so accessible.
And I did stop. that hit me. When you said that, I don't answer no goddamn calls no more. None of that.
Yeah.
None of that.
So let's start giving the flowers to those who deserve it while they're still here. That's everybody says that.
And believe me, a lot of people asked for an interview. Even my brother Rich. I'm like, brother, I'm not just giving away an interview. I'm not doing that. I'm the fucking legend here. I'm the GOAT here. I recognize that shit. I recognize it. Ain't nobody else gonna pat me. I gotta pat myself on the back. Man.
I don't have the soundboard. You gotta play for me. Play the clapping. Come on, play it. Play the applause.
You gotta come at me with some damn economics because look, and when I'm saying, Nepal, if I can do it, like if I'm calling out Brother Kaba, yo, I want to do an interview.
You give money.
I'm coming with money. Reggie will tell you, when I go see Dr. Leonard Jeffries, I didn't go with empty pockets.
No, I know.
Dr. Reggie will tell you. I went to Dr. Leonard Jeffries with money in my pocket. Okay? When I see Reggie, I have money in my pocket. Sometimes Reggie be so goddamn humble. Here. I go like this, Reggie, I'm gonna have to just throw it in your pocket. Reggie said, nah, man, I just want to go get me some tea.
You did that with Shaka on the channel.
So I'm not telling you something that I wouldn't do myself. I do this. So goddamn, talk
show
to
the
me.
respect. Show the respect.
Yeah, that's all.
It's because you two. They think, oh, that's just Brother SaNeter. He could do it, or that's how family does family, though. To be honest, and so we're not beating people up. Family does that to certain members in the family, like, oh, but we could go to him. We can take his. He doesn't need this loaf of bread.
Right.
So yeah, thank you, SaNeter, and I look forward to having the sisters on. I will definitely. I mean, you know what? I say debate, but I really don't want to debate, Christine. I'm not gonna lie, and nobody's scared, as you know.
And people want to see you match that energy. They want that.
Yeah.
Hey, with a show of hands in the audience, press 1 if y'all want to see that debate. Press 2 if y'all not interested in that debate. Press 2 if y'all don't want to see Nepal debater. Press 1 if y'all want that entertainment.
She was in here talking about Nepal wants to get her cloud and shine. Girl, bye. I'm right here. This is and I said my house. I was talking about I'm a part of the house of consciousness.
That's right.
This is H. Millet's house, Max Bird's house, Reggie's house.
No. Nepal, the ones are in the chat. You got to answer the people, the fans want you, Nepal. See?
Yeah. Well, I will debate her, but I'm going to be honest. Y'all think I'm joking. I don't like hurting people's feelings by smashing the truth in their face. But I will do it. We might need to get back to that conversation about waste, because people think because they went and Googled, this is that and that is waste, or she got you, those eggs are waste. No, there's rich life, and they're using that blood for research. I don't want to get too into it, but I can debate her on that. But I'm going to let you know I don't feel good.
I want you debating her.
Beating her up.
Is Kemet teachings in the Bible? Now, she might be so arrogant and say no because she's a Christian.
She's not going to take that debate. And if she does, she'll go and find, whatever. We'll
call her tomorrow. We will call her tomorrow.
Here's one that's really, really tough. I don't even know if I'll debate it, but nobody will take this debate. I want to debate who was more evil according to the law. King David or Jezebel? Y'all aren't ready. You're not ready. You're not ready.
I want to take this debate. Who is the most powerful killer, God or Satan on the planet? Who do more killing? Who is more evil? All right, I'll put it this way. Who is more evil and wicked?
Who does more evil?
There you go. Who does more evil and wickedness on the planet? God?
Don't throw wickedness in.
No, God?
Evil.
Who does more evil? Right. God or Satan or the devil? All the Hebrews going to say Satan.
See, they're going to get upset. We're too deep up here. We're too deep for these people.
They ain't ready for this level right here. They ain't ready.
Oh, I do have one more.
But you know what? Hold up, Nepal. I want to know, being that you deal with psychology a lot too.
Yes, I do.
What's in the mind of a Hebrew Israelite, like even when you show them in the Bible, they will tell you that the devil can't kill without the permission of God, but they will still turn around and say the devil do more killing than God. How is that? If God is sanctioning the devil to kill, then it's God killing.
Doing the killing.
God is doing the killing.
I never heard that. Who said that?
It's the Hebrews say that. Tazariak said it. I play the clip all the time. Daniel Allah said it. All the Hebrew Israelites say that, man. You know, they all say that. They all say that the devil can't kill nobody without the permission. They say that.
They say
I played the clip. I played the clip where Tazariak said, God send the devil down here to do his work. And when the devil kills, God is happy.
Yeah.
This is what Tazariak, I heard Hebrew say that. Yeah, he said God is happy when Satan kills. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And people let that shit go over their head. Like they don't deal with common sense.
I got another one, SaNeter. I want to debate that there are multiple gods throughout the Bible that they keep saying the Lord. Those are different gods. Those are different gods from Genesis to Revelation. There are different gods throughout the Bible. Going by the name Lord, God, Yahweh. There are many different gods. It's not just one uniform, because what do they say? We worship God in spirit, right? Mm-hmm. Those are different spirits. One God in Exodus kills people because they're craving meat, and then the God in the New Testament, according to what Jesus teaches, he says, wouldn't God give you a loaf? Your earthly father gives you a loaf of bread. Why wouldn't your God in heaven do that for you? Your earthly father gives you a fish instead of a serpent. Why wouldn't your heavenly father do that for you? But see, that must be a different God, because the God in Exodus, they were craving some meat and he killed them by making them eat meat until they died. So those can't be the same gods, because they're different. Those are different spirits, different actions, different characteristics. They're not ready, SaNeter.
Yeah, they ain't ready for me or you, because together, oh my God, they done.
They're done.
They're done. They don't want that smoke. Apostle got a nerve to want to debate me on the topic of, do we have free will? What is wrong with you?
And you took the debate, though. I was like, what's wrong with this man?
Yeah, is Apostle. I will take that debate on Apostle and beat him down. How I beat him without even us having debates. He will lose.
No, and you just talk about pay. I'm gonna say this, so I'm gonna go on a limb. I don't care everybody saying you don't tell. So I'm not telling him what to do. I'm advising him. Any debate SaNeter has to be a paid debate, and it has to be a certain amount of people in the audience, or he won't do it. There, I'm his agent right now.
Now listen, y'all say Nepal versus Captain. Captain don't debate females.
No,
and Nepal would never debate Captain Tazariak,
No,
and Tazariak would never debate her. So come on, man. Y'all got to wake up with that. So anyway, Nepal, go ahead and close out and we out of here.
Peace to the family. Peace to the darkest minds of the light. And I loved what Baba Kaba Hayawatha said, how we are all one. We're all one. That's absolutely true. But we are, like what Jabari said, they're our children. They came from the melaninated. And we all, so I love that. So peace to all creation, peace to my family, peace to SaNeter, peace to, all the brothers and sisters out there who support. And guess what? Look at this, SaNeter. Look, we're still here. Mm-hmm. So tick tock all day. Our clock is eternal, baby. Tick tock. We're still here. There's no timer on this. All right. Anything you want to say before we go?
I just say, take a look at, this is a joint that I did.
Look at how young you look.
This is a joint.
Look 20 years old.
Yeah, this is a joint I did at my house.
Wow, how old were you?
I don't know.
You look young there.
I was young there. That's a joint I did. You heard what he said. Everywhere I went, he was there.
Wow.
Everywhere I went, he was there. Here's another one right here on the street where he would come through. And we're on the streets of Harlem, right there where my pictures be. He going in too. And
Bless
believe
the
me,
brother.
you can see everybody got my videos. If I was a real sucker, believe me, I will flag everybody.
Yes.
But let me tell you why, Nepal, I never did that. And see, people were so petty that they would go and flag the videos. Here's another one with him right in front of my pictures. You see him right here teaching, going in. See, this is the 125th Street teaching. I'm gonna get that back, and I'm gonna call Reggie. I'm gonna call all of us, and we're gonna go out there on the weekend or something like that. I'm gonna even call Professor Cobb and say, "Yo, brother, let's go out there. It's summertime. Let's go out there on the Saturdays, get it in, get this bills back.
That would be beautiful.
Build the cipher."
Yeah.
That's my
You
man
said it's not
Tahuti.
the same.
That's my man Tahuti right there.
Yeah, free
And that's
Tahuti.
Sutek right behind it. Yeah, that's Sutek with the blue on. So yeah. So
You
yeah,
do
we're
it
gonna
for the
get that
people,
back.
SaNeter. And can you play that song? I love it. I love that song. It's like I was on the couch watching SaNeter. I love it. Who is that? Who is that artist?
Now let me tell. Oh, that's my man. That's my man. Oh man, damn, his name at the tip of my tongue. Do it for the people. That's do it for the people. Here's the joint we did at Brother Sutek. Hey, Dr. Reggie, you know Big Man passed away, right? That's Brother Big Man right there. That's my elder. That's where I learned a lot from, right there. From Brother Big Man. There's Kaba right there. Brother Reggie, in case you didn't know, Brother Big Man passed away, bro. Yeah, we at the Soul Brothers Boutique. And so y'all can see your brother SaNeter been doing this for a long time getting this work in. And so one of the reasons why, Nepal, let me give them the science on this, that I never really flagged a lot of people is because me being a chess player, like I said, it helped me in the end. You feel me? It helped me in the long run. My message was getting out. Like when some people don't want you to copy their videos and get it out, that's why they wouldn't make it long. They wouldn't be out there that long. But damn it, everybody and their mama was copying my style, copying my videos. There's a brother on YouTube where he got every debate I did on his channel.
Wow.
And all I got to do is hit 3 of them, his whole channel come down. I'm not going to take it down. I see him. But see, they don't know it helps me. Because when people see it, they know it come from here. They know my logo is on it. That's why I put my logo on everything. I'm not going to be petty and flags because it got my name, SaNeter TV, SaNeter Studio. So he's promoting me, and they don't understand that. That's why I never flag the people. I only flag suckers who take my merchandise and try to use it against me and talk shit about me.
About your family.
Yeah, that's who I go after. But if you're just using it and you putting it up, I let that go. I let that rock.
But see, they take it for granted though, because when you do flag, they start crying and saying, "I can't believe he flagged me." You're using his material.
Right.
Oh, there's Neo. Can I do a debate on is the Abrahamic faith dangerous? Uh-oh. She's getting the fire now. She got a little taste on her.
Where Neo at?
Oh, wait, what are we calling her?
Yeah.
The sniper assassin.
Yeah, that's the sniper assassin right there.
Yeah, that's Neo. So no, shout out to all the sisters. That was a good. It was a good debate to watch.
Yeah, that's my brother Lazarus. Do it for the people.
But it was a disaster too.
You heard me? That's my brother Lazarus.
Okay, do it for the. That's my song. I love that song.
I think he wrote like about 3 or 4 songs for me.
But that one with the remix with her beautiful voice. Oh, I want to. We got to get her to do something else. I love her voice. The sister from Instagram.
Yeah.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
You asked her to sing that remix. Remember?
Yeah. Yep.
What are you trying to find?
I'm gonna get the song for you. We're gonna close out with the song.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, shout out to Sister Dana. Also, I'm glad I remembered. Dana with the data. Definitely the sister called in, and even Dana, like, come in, we'll do some builds here. We gotta establish our position, sisters. I can't do it by myself. And Yeah, there are sisters that come in, but I mean, really have a strong presence. Anybody who doesn't like it, we need that balance. We need that balance, right, King?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
And now, without further ado, DJ, take us out.
Yeah. I gotta load it back up.
Yeah. So while you do that, you could stop screen sharing, right?
Yes.
You still screen sharing.
We're gonna end out with do it for the people, but the people gotta also do it for SaNeter. And do it for the HOK. That's going to be the remix. I got to call Lazarus and tell him, yo, we need a remix. Do it for the HOK.
Do it for the HOK. That would be awesome. Let me be on that. I'm gonna be on that rapping and singing.
Yeah, you could do the the hook.
La da da. No, I almost start singing, but they're gonna try to say, listen, that sister's voice is impeccable, beautiful. I could take a lot of lessons from her. I love her voice. That honestly, that's the hook makes me always like get choked up. I love her voice that much. Like, it's such a beautiful, touching hook. Now, did she make that hook up or did he make that hook up?
He made it up. He writes his song. And so in closing, we out of here. Let me stop for 1 minute. Paul, he did this live, right?
What?
And the sister was there and they did it live. I think
Hey man, peace everybody. Check it. Hey Sean, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Yeah, man, I missed that right there. Hey man, you got the floor, man. Just think about this whole thing, man. This whole madness. SaNeter TV.
Yeah. I had a lot to address early in the video. I done forgot most of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's horrible. They talking about they doing it for the children. I'm looking like, y'all need to leave these babies alone. Like, nah, we got it. Like, y'all stick to teaching grown-ups. Aboriginals teach the babies, because y'all don't need to push no more of that poison in our children. So,
Well, like we're gonna go up out of here with this the intro. It's gonna be the outro. So let's get up out of here. Come back tomorrow with a reaction to this video. So I'll say thank you coming up, bro. Thank everybody for tapping in. Yeah, man, we'll catch you guys later. Yeah. Hold on a second, yeah, I'm getting it together. Technical difficulties. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody. I'm gonna shout a few people out while we in. CJ Curling, Suzanne Thompson, Nikki Nakia, Sun Baby. Hefe, King of All Man. Enoch 0407. See Miss Gretchen Ham in the building. Okay, nothing like Cowboys and Indians. Put this up there while we're doing this real fast. Little Yos Rios. Piece of the guys, man. Not bad. I think that's it, y'all. I want to say shout out to everybody, man. Thank you guys for tapping in tonight. Hey, we're gonna get up out of here, man. Like I said, if you guys didn't catch the intro, man, this is the new intro to the show. So it's gonna be the outro for this tonight. We out here. We out.
A lot of y'all pseudoscientists, you be fraud as hell. Your granddaddy did it, then you did it, you can rot in hell. I don't know who with me or against me, it be hard to tell. Chaos energy, I'm heated, it get hot as hell. Man, it feel good to be Aboriginal. 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 Everybody tribe up, had to be major. Yeah, I got my melanin. Guilty without no evidence. All natural, you know me. Jury, it's on me. Swagger, you matter. That's making me chase a fatter. Michael Jackson, but I'm better. Fuck all lives matter. All my teachers, all non-ether powers, I ain't got all mine either. I don't need a preacher, I just go within. He don't need a leader, no, we gonna win. I see apples with the wind again. Tell a friend, we going in. All skins still ain't kin. Y'all heard the tribunal? They sweat us dead like funeral. Winning record like 2-0. Fly a lot like UFO. Joe Biden, you a hoe. You a hoe and you not original. We ain't going nowhere, you pitiful. We keep coming right back, residual. We out here lit. You know, fuck about who you with. We just correcting our status and shit. What do you know about your citizenship? What do you know about your status and shit? I hate sophistics like shit. Whole system ain't shit. Do something about this shit. You ain't gotta say it something like a king. This is what I seen when I had a dream. Should've had a scene. Do the right thing. Carbon-based thing.